All right, all right, all right. We are currently live on both channels. Tim, can you hear my audio fine? Yo, Tim, can you hear my audio fine? Tim,
Yeah, I can hear you.
can you hear me?
No, yeah, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. So,
Yeah, as per my YouTube off, I should be good now.
okay, perfect. So, yeah, we are currently live on both channels. What's up, y'all? It's K Rod here. I'm here once again for another post-fight boxing show with Mr. Skywalker boxing. We about to have a lot to talk about because this past weekend was a crazy, glorious weekend. But
Oh,
yeah, um, I'm gonna chop it up, have a lot of fun, and get up on out of here. But yeah, let's talk about the zone card. Then we'll move over to top rank. And then we'll just work our way down. But
okay.
yeah, as far as like what you saw with whatchamacallit, yeah, hold on, let me take a look at it. I'm just trying to find like the card. There was just so many fights going on.
Yeah, there was some good fights on the zone card too. Um, I think it was Matisse and Tapia. That's a good ass fight, man.
Yeah, let's talk about that because that fight was crazy. I actually thought Tapia blew the fight off. Like he actually was winning the fight, but I think that knockdown made a huge difference in that fight. And I don't know why the judges made that fight unanimous because Thomas Mattis, like for those of you that don't know, like he's a very slow starter and late game he doesn't really carry that well. So for him to beat Christian, I was kind of like a little bit shocked. But knowing that Christian, he hasn't really fought anybody that put him in any position to like really be like a heavily certified fighter. In which like I like Christian a lot. I think he did a very decent job against Thomas, but he just tried trading with him in certain issues where Thomas was able to like get his punches going. So I think that's what made like the huge difference in him losing. But I think either way, Christian just had like no defense coming into the shots that he got hurt with. But that was a good fight. I actually thought Christian could have pulled it off in a very close, split decision. But I'm
It
not
was a back
like
and forth fight. It was a back and forth fight. Matisse was landing the harder punches, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But Tapia was in it, man. He was getting rocked. He could take punches.
yeah,
That was a crazy fight. It was a back and forth fight. It was one of the best fights on the card, I believe, man. Like it,
yeah,
that
I think
fight
so.
stole the whole card. And right, I mean there was other fights on the card. We'll go through 'em. Go ahead. Now, what's the next fight?
Yeah, the other fight that I had a lot of fun watching was the Nicolas Sekavansvili fight against David Rodriguez. He beat him up so bad that he basically forced a doctor stoppage where his eye got absolutely swollen, and that was just a pure beatdown. I believe he dropped him in like the first or second round, but Nico just destroyed him. That was a very good, dangerous, level fight.
Yeah,
Yeah, because David, he had like no defense and he just tried trading with like a puncher. And, I know who Nico is. He trains under the training of Javier Centeno that trains Xander Zayas over at Sweatbox Boxing Gym. And, yeah, Nico, surprisingly, like, he was not active at all that whole 2021 leading into now, and it's been over like a year since he lost to Guido Emmanuel Strom. I think it was on like a trailer card. I don't know what card that was on. Oh, yeah, that was on the Michael Hunter versus Mike Wilson card, and I think I actually like I think I actually like remember that fight if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Nico definitely didn't come in like prepared in that fight, and he didn't look like he was the sharpest. But yeah, that fight he should have made it look a lot more competitive because I really thought he could have done some damage to beat Guido, but I think he just didn't have the right game plan coming in. But either way, Nico, him taking all this time off just didn't sit well with me. But yeah, good job. I mean, you beat up on a undefeated fighter, in which I don't know who this guy is, but he's a decent fighter. He's more of like a pure boxer. He doesn't really possess like all the high and mighty power that he has. He only has 2 KOs, so I think honestly, if he had like more knockout power, I think that fight would have looked a lot more different. But David was undefeated and he took on the challenge, so I give him props for that. But Nico just came in and just absolutely destroyed him. But I think it was just simply due to him taking that opportunity with David because he literally just took like a whole year off, so he figured let me get a unbeaten guy. But I don't think this is like the right opponent for him because even though that he was 6-0 and he's 8-0, like I think due to the style, like Nico's style favors with somebody that's not gonna punch back at him, and every out of everybody that he has stopped, like they haven't really done anything to like really like fight back with him. So I think with that fight with Guido, if I remember correctly, like Guido's a good decent fighter, but he could definitely punch if I'm not mistaken. So I think that fight definitely made a huge difference for what Nico didn't see out of him. But yeah, like he's a good fighter. It's just that I'd like to see the opposition increase developmentally, and I'd like to see Nico back because he has a great style. It's just that he needs to start, putting himself in there in like tougher fights. But good performance, and hope to see him back again.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah, let's talk about Khalil Cole, big stepper, um, where he had a decision win against Bradley Almeida, that Puerto Rican guy.
I don't know if I watched this one, bro. I missed that one.
Yeah, that fight was good, but that Bradley guy, like honestly, like I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think Bradley really came into that fight in shape because he didn't really look like he was really in his best position. But Khalil, he's a really like heavy loaded puncher. Um, it may not show it, within like the amount of pressure that he throws and punches, but I think Khalil's really there to box with you versus like actually trying to like knock you out. And I think what the problem with Khalil is that he really tries to trade with people that are not going to give you as much punch resistance. But I think once we see the competition pool get a lot deeper, I think Khalil's going to show a lot more holes in his game because Bradley, he's a decent mover, but the thing about him is like he doesn't really possess I guess at the punching power that people says that he has, but he has stopped like four, or actually no, he stopped three people in his entire career, leading up to Khalil. And out of all three of those people, these are guys that don't really have good, winning records. They all have losing records. So I think this fight was just pretty much like a, very low tier level match fight for Khalil. And I think either way, like it's good that he beat a unbeaten guy, but still, I think the bigger question is like when is Khalil Cole gonna start stepping up the competition? Because he is 26 years old and he needs to start moving a little bit faster. And knowing that I did see him on my birthday back in April, on the Taylor Serrano card, he did look really good. He fought that William Langston guy. He's a very, very tough guy. Like, I don't know how he be coming into his fights in his previous fights, but that night when I saw him fight Khalil Cole, he was landing some big shots on him, but this guy, he was built like a soldier. Like he came in there and he was actually like throwing back bombs with Khalil. And Khalil, he looked a little bit shaky in there, but dude, I guarantee you, like
Bro,
if
just saying.
I guarantee you, if William Langston, if he had more power with his shots, where he started to land more effectively, I think he definitely could have dropped Khalil, or he definitely would have hurt him more. Because Khalil, like don't be surprised, he can hit, but the problem with him is that he doesn't load up on the proper shot and he tries to smother his work. So that's the biggest issue that I have with him. You're going into a fight with people that you don't know if they're going to hit back harder than you, and knowing that light heavyweight division is like the lower tier of the heavyweight division before you hit the heavyweight division, because obviously people will say the cruiserweight division is like the mini boot camp before the heavyweight division, but light heavyweight is literally like the true classical heavyweight division. Because like the thing about light heavyweights is that they punch extremely hard, but the problem with them is that light heavyweights, they're not using a lot of they're not sitting down on their punches a lot. They're trying to throw a lot more misloaded shots. So I think like depending on the fighter, it really depends on how they're setting up the punch to, effectively be more how should I say, successful in their shot selection. But from what I'm seeing out of Khalil Cole, or Khalil Ko, right? He's a
Yeah.
very good fighter. Like, there's no doubt about it. He just needs to stay active because he really needs to start getting at least like a good like 5, 6 more fights heading into next year. And I think sooner than later we'll probably see him, at the world title stage, because I think he's ready for those big names. Because 175, honestly, it's a very weak division. So
Right.
I don't know, if you think he could definitely hang in there with any like top 50 or top 100 guy, but I think he'll definitely be ready heading into the future. How do you see him growing in his career?
Just give it time, bro. I think he's doing good. Um, you know what I mean? Just gotta give it some time.
Do you think the Big Steppa has a chance to beat any of you know, um, the other light heavyweights that are coming up, like Atifo Barrelton, or any
I don't know why haven't we wait time? We got to wait for Bivol better beef, man.
yeah, one fight was
Fighter two, bro, and I tripped out the way better beef handled him. I was like, whoa.
honestly
So
like
put him
I,
in there with Smith.
yeah, I wouldn't mind Khalil Cole facing against who's that one good fighter that fights in his division? I want to see him and Atifo Barrelton. That's a good ass fight. But I wouldn't mind a fight between him and Steve Gefford. That's a great fight. Steve Gefford,
Oh, yeah.
he could punch, but he could definitely give him some good proper punch resistance. But
Yeah.
yeah, looking at light heavyweight, it's just like the cruiserweight division. It's just like a bunch of European fighters that I'd never heard of, but the competition level is like, I don't know, like it feels very weak. So it doesn't really look like that many good guys are here. And looking at the American level light heavyweights, you got Marcus Brown at number 2, you got Joe Smith at number 1, Andre Durrell 3, and then you got some other guys that I never heard of. Oh yeah. You got Richard Van Sicklen. That's a very good fight for Khalil Cole one day. I'm always down to see him fight. Um, Hakeem Lopez. That's Najee Lopez's brother. For anybody that knows him,
Yeah, yeah.
even though he had a very tough fight with Richard Van Sicklen that defeated him. That's a very good fight for Khalil. I think Khalil will definitely give Najee a very difficult test. Um, also, I wouldn't mind a fight between him and Michael Seals. Even though he's 40 years old, but go after him. Or wait, actually no, Dante Benjamin would be like a really good fight for him. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, like hands down, Dante Benjamin would give Khalil a decent test, but I think that'll be like a shootout. Whoever knocks each other out first.
Right.
Yeah, but let's move on with the other fights that were on the card. Um, Oh, that female fight with that Beatrice Ferreira versus Tanya Cardoso. That was a
Yeah,
very good fight. I like
yeah,
that
yeah.
Beatrice lady. She was fighting a bit dirty in that fight, but I actually thought that she did good for a very good 3 minute fight. I really wish that shit actually went 6 rounds or at least 8 rounds.
Yeah, yeah. That
Um,
was a good fight.
yeah, but the best fight or one of the best fights on the card was Raymond Force stopping Sicario Lucas. I was surprised that he actually
Yeah,
knocked him out.
yeah. Hey, Ford looked good, bro.
Ford, he's a
Like Raymond Ford.
beast. He's an absolute monster. Like nobody don't realize like how good of a fighter he is, but I think he did such a great job that a lot of people just never saw it coming. But on top of that,
Right.
like he really took a great account of himself where he really like took his time and he saw like the perfect opportunity to just put him down. Yeah, salute to
Yeah,
you, Jay
Raymond
Gibson.
Ford.
Thank you for coming through. Um, yeah, but honestly, man, like, do you think Raymond Ford's ready for any top fighter right now at featherweight?
Oh yeah, definitely give him a test, man. I know that a couple fights back he had an off performance, and he's done proved it, man. I think this is like his third fight since that off performance, and he's fighting a lot, bro. He's how many fights did he fight in 2022? Can you look that up, Kira?
Who for
I know he
Raymond
stayed
Ford?
active.
For Raymond Ford, right?
Yeah, he fought 3 times or more.
Yeah, for Raymond Ford, he's fought in 2022. He's fought one, two. He
What's up,
fought
bro?
he fought 3 times in 2022. Yeah, he fought 3 times in the 2022 fight year.
Yeah, good. It's good.
Yeah, I think the only reason why he's not fighting more than 3 times a year is because of that WBA belt that he has. He's trying to get closer to the title, so like whoever is being put in front of him, he's just trying to wait for that opportunity. But I say, in between, it's good to just keep yourself active if you can't get, like a fight getting closer to that title. I just think like just keep
Right.
stacking up like your resume, keep getting better. I like how he's I like how
He's
he's
from Camden, New Jersey. He's from the hood.
yeah,
He's from the hood. He knows how to fight, bro. The guys from the hood know how to fight, bro.
yeah. Well, that doesn't make you look a great fighter. I mean,
Fuck yeah, dude. Grow up fucking fighting. That's how Tank's a beast too, bro.
yeah. Well, the problem with that
Grow up in
is
the
like,
hood.
your skills got to show up in the ring.
Protein
So
gospels every day.
you
Huh?
know, no. Like I'm saying, like anybody could say that they're from like a tough neighborhood, but if you can't back it up in the ring, then it's kind of
Sometimes you can, bro. So yeah, street fighting is different than boxing, and we all know
yeah.
that.
That's what I was just
Maybe
about to say.
correlate with boxing. I totally agree. But a lot of inner cities, rough neighborhoods, these kids got to throw hands a lot, man. That is good experience, man. You know what I mean? As far as when you get into the gym, boxing, that shit, that's an advancement once you get into boxing.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
you understand, a fighter's a fighter, bro. A book
yeah.
nerd is a book nerd, right? A guy.
Like
Yeah, we got
at the
that,
end
man.
of the day, like you have to think about it. Like you're not fighting guys that are bona fide fighters in the streets, but when you get inside the ring, it's a whole different level because you have to maintain your stamina while getting hurt. So when you get up in it, like when you get up in there and you actually take a good shot, it's like that's not anywhere like the streets where people could just throw like a bunch of hands, but they're not actually landing like effectively. But yeah, moving on from that.
Well, doing this is what we're talking. My bad, bro. I'm trying to multitask.
Yeah. Raymond Force performance, I would rate it a good solid like at least 8.5 out of 10 because like I would give it like a 9, but he made some little minor mistakes in the fight where Sicario Lucas he was catching him coming in, but I think
Right.
like I think the biggest issue with Raymond is that he's not going in there with somebody that's trying to knock his head off. he's been fighting guys that are heavily stationary, and I don't think I've ever seen Raymond actually fight against a true boxer or a true boxer puncher. The most competitive fight that really made me think a little bit
Right.
more about his skill set was with Edward Vasquez. I think me and
Right.
you talked about him in the past, and he's a good fighter. Although
Right.
he doesn't possess enough power to actually present a problem in a fight. But he was piecing Raymond up. Like he was actually like
Yeah.
going blow for blow for him, and he was
Right.
really roughing him up really bad. And I was like, wow, like he's actually like
I
coming in
got
there, putting in that
I
work.
got I got a comment on my side of the show. This is for K Rod's doing a recording on his live show, guys. Subscribe to K Rod 7435, and also he's doing it for his podcast. So this is a whole boxing breakdown. This is gonna go inside his podcast that he does. He's a podcaster with Red Circle, I believe, right? And
Yeah. Like I'll send you the link on that. Or
yeah, you can drop the link in the chat. But I have a comment from Poodle Sur. He goes, back Skywalker. They're called naturals. B Hop was one. So B Hop, I guess, he grew up in the street fighting. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's somewhat true, but then again, like, this is fighting, in a ring, not fighting in the streets. So,
Right.
like, you can't like go off on those premises because anybody that comes from any neighborhood could be good at any sport. But in boxing, it's like, that's all self-driven skill. Like you have to like practice years and years and
Yeah,
years
it's
to
the way
like,
of discipline. No, I
yeah,
agree.
like you gotta
Boxing's
like
something that
really get in
takes
there
time.
because like honestly, like not to be off topic, but when I first got into like the ring to actually like spar somebody, it felt like I was in
Yeah.
like a wrestling match, but I was like actually using my feet more as I moved, and like every time when I landed like a good shot on somebody, I could feel that person's like body language, like respond different because I'm heavy handed, so I hit very hard as far as what I do, but yeah, every punch that I threw had like a much different effect every time I got tired, and it felt like honestly, like it felt like that I was going back and forth with somebody, like in a actual like difficult like chess match. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt very like mind depleting, in a way. But yeah, Jay Gibson said, in my opinion, Ford ready. Hopefully, decent fights get made. Yeah. Most definitely. Like I'm not against seeing Raymond Ford get tested by some killer. It's just that who would be like the perfect opponent to put him right in front of him, so therefore he doesn't damage his career. Because but the problem with some of these fighters, like I'm not saying Raymond's a part of that category yet, but some of those fighters really do be listening to their own hype, and I feel like that's like a recipe for disaster where they put themselves in a bad position where everything that they say and do is mainly off of what the fans tell them. Like take a look at Pitbull Cruz. Like Isaac Cruz is so hype off of like what his fans tell him, and the other time when Jose Valenzuela called him out saying like I would like to fight Pitbull, if I'm successful in my fight, blah blah blah, and Pitbull said, oh no, you need to earn this opportunity with me, blah blah blah, and I'm like, what the hell, like you're trying to say that to another guy that's just as hungry as you that want to knock your head off? Hell no, you don't say that. But that just shows you like how some of these fighters out here, they really do be listening to their own hype, because if he was not like that and he was really like about fighting everybody, like i.e. Shakur Stevenson right now, Pitbull would not be afraid taking on any challenge. So I think like with Raymond Ford, he's actually heavily confident that he believes he could beat all the top featherweights like Mauricio Lara, Emmanuel Navarrete, like all those guys. Like I salute him for that, but the problem is you need to start taking baby steps before you get to the upper echelon. And I think the best opponents are the opponents that are coming off of a good win or coming off of a decent loss.
Yeah, but regardless of he's already been in that prospect limelight for a minute, man. Raymond Ford. So it's good to call out the big names, man. To get the big fights. I think
Yeah.
it's good, man. I think it's good. Look at Cash Flow Diaz, bro. His ass was wearing the
Yeah,
I
I
want
want.
Monster anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Short. You know what I'm saying? He wants
But
a
no,
Monster anyway.
that's that's good though, because if you think about it, he's actually benefiting. He's actually benefiting off of creating a market, creating a market for doing that. Because as he continues to win more, more people will start to say, "Nah, man, you ain't ready for Inoue. You ain't ready for Fulton. You ain't ready for MJ." But as he keeps getting better and he keeps pushing closer to those fights, I really do believe Floyd Diaz, he's gonna go in there and he's actually gonna get a lot better, as the years come by, where he could, he could very well defeat them one day. And I really hope so,
Like,
because
call out for what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
yeah, because like you're supposed to call people out in your division.
Go for
That's what.
legacy. Remember legacy over money, man. I heard someone cooking on that earlier, man.
Yeah,
And,
legacy.
man, that's
Yeah,
what people
legacy
should be
comes first
fighting
before
for, man.
money. Because if you go after like your
Right.
legacy, then you're always gonna be making that money. But yeah, I definitely agree with Jay Gibson, and I agree with Skywalker. Um, I think Raymond
What's
Ford.
up, Jay Gibson? What's up, brother?
I
I'm on the other side.
I think I think honestly the best fight for Raymond Ford, if he wants to get if he wants to get like a really really good fight in, he should go after
Right.
Figgy. Yo, he should him and Brandon Figueroa. That's a good ass fight. Even though that Figgy, he's in legal trouble right now, but
Yeah,
if he can,
Brandon gave a good fight against Cool Boy, man. That was a good fight,
or
remember? So I definitely that's a test. Like you want to get to Cool Boy, you definitely got to fight Figueroa.
yo, he could also fight Mark Maxio too. That's a good
Yeah,
ass fight.
Mixayo's supposed to fight Isaac Dogbo. I was gonna ask you what you thought of
Oh,
that, bro.
really? Isaac Dogbay?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Cause didn't you tell me that Dogbay he was gonna fight for the
Getting ordered.
WBO? Yeah. So um, I think you or somebody else said that him and Isaac Dogbay were gonna fight each other for the WBO title, because like the WBO got vacated by Navarrete for now, or he actually still holds up the belt.
Yeah, Navarrete moving up, ready to fight Valdez.
Yeah, so if that's true, then the WBO they're probably gonna order Maxio versus Dogbay, and then the winner keeps that belt, so they have to
Who
fight.
you got in that? I think Isaac Dogbay's got a lot of experience, bro, going up against Joey Gonzalez and going up against Navarrete a couple times.
Yeah, I think Dogbay. I think Dogbay gonna stop him, because I don't trust Mark's.
Experience, man. He's got a good experience with champions.
Yeah, because I just don't trust Mark Maxio's offense to really do anything to him, because the only thing that Mark Maxio does is like he just throws a lot of punches, and he just hopes that one of those punches lands, and then that's how he gets his shots off. But once you time his shit properly, and then once you start hurting him, Mark Maxio, he can easily get put to sleep. Even in that fight with Julio Ceja, Ceja had everything going in that fight, but the main thing that he screwed up on was leaving his chin wide open for Mark to even counter him. So I think honestly, if Mark, if he gets timed properly by Dogbay, I think Dogbay can easily put him down. I think so. It's very possible. But don't be surprised if Maxio can stop Dogbay, because Dogbay, he's actually chinny too. So he doesn't present anything different. But knowing that he got stopped by Navarrete the way, like he got stopped, in a very hard fashion, where he showed like a lot of flaws in his game once he starts to break down. I think Maxio will definitely have the same, same style presented to him, because, Maxio can't outbox Dogbay. I think Dogbay is going to figure that out real quickly. But if he does something stupid in the fight where Mark, ends up clipping him, and then Mark just goes in trying to stop him, then yeah, that's not going to be a good sign, because Mark, he can hit, and not a lot of people want to talk about his power, but his power is very very active. And just because he hasn't been able to stop people consistently, um, he's still a very dangerous, fighter. So
Right.
yeah, but even though that he actually lost a split decision to Ray Vargas, he was actually able to drop Ray Vargas, and Ray
Right, in
Vargas,
the ninth round,
yeah,
he dropped Ray
yo,
Vargas.
Ray Vargas could have been stopped, in that round, But what?
He could have, but he didn't finish the job. Remember?
Yeah,
He didn't
Mark.
even press the gas, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
what the
Mark.
fuck.
Yo,
Mark doesn't know how to finish his food, bro.
Yeah. Mark doesn't
That's
know
the
how to
problem with
close up the
him.
show.
That's the problem with Mark is he doesn't know how to finish his food, bro.
Mark,
That's the problem.
Mark cannot
He can
close.
catch him. He's got speed. He's got speed.
Yeah,
he
Mark.
doesn't know how to finish his food.
Mark
bro.
has great hand speed, but he doesn't have that closer fundamental trait in him. Like whenever he sees somebody hurt, he just waits for the referee to step in to say, "Oh, that's enough. Just stop it. Just stop it." Like, no, that's not how you stop. Like, that's not how you knock people out. You have to knock
You don't have
people
that
out.
killing mode.
Yeah. You have to go in there as if you're gonna kill that person. So you have to.
Yeah, you gotta be good when you gotta know when your opponents are hurt. And know when it's time to start letting them go. Fuck your defense. It's all offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Mark
you shouldn't be worried about his punches because you got him stunned, and that's the moment where you can lack on defense and go in hard. But you got to know that he's hurt.
Yeah, Mark
is just. I think he thinks too much about it, bro. He's got his opponent hurt.
Yeah, he thinks too much about stopping people, but it's like that's not what boxing is about. You can't be thinking like that.
Yeah. I remember Ray Vargas is a lot taller than Mark McStyle when they fought.
Ray Vargas had everything in the bag to just outbox him, and he could easily hurt him with his right hooks to the body because he was beating Mark's ass to the body, but the reason why he got dropped was because he left his chin wide open for Mark to just clip him. And that's what
you also got to remember when he fought Gary Russell. Gary Russell was dealing with problems with his camp. His father was ill at the time before he passed.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he screwed up his arm. So
he exactly. So there's all sorts of issues. So he didn't fight 100% Gary Russell that night. Everybody knew that. Regardless, like people can make excuses, but there was no excuses. These were all facts.
Yeah,
knew what the Russells were dealing with. Their father had health issues at the time. Ended up passing away, and you know what I mean. It's a lot of shit, man.
Yeah, people.
Life sometimes throws you curveballs, man. And to be disciplined as a boxer is a very hard job. That's a job in itself, and it's an extreme job.
Yeah.
And the moment you let off the gas, the moment your ass is gonna get knocked out, or the moment you're gonna lose a fight. Because it takes 110% effort, everything you got plus some more, and that's the problem that happens with fighters. It's not that they're not no good, fighters have off nights, man, and off camp.
Yeah, that's very common in boxing.
Yeah, and it's just normal. It's a normal thing because life throws you curveballs. Nobody can be perfect, not have no issues,
Yeah, because they think fighters are just like Terminators out here, just being perfect in their fights, and it's like that's not like that. They're human like anybody else, and they could easily get sparked by some young killer out there. So, honestly, like that's why, like to me at least, that's why, like whenever I break down fights, I always look at both fighters' last fights, in which I never judge them by that, but you have to look at like how much progression.
Yeah. And you never, if you support a fighter, you support them. I mean, win, lose, draw, you're supposed to get that fighter's back. That's just the whole sport about it, bro. It's the whole concept. It's not being a fanboy. It's like, hey, you respect that person. He gave you respect. And, you know what I'm saying? You enjoy his style. You can lose some and win some, bro. That don't mean shit, huh?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's move with the next fight, but to finalize with Raymond Ford, I think he could become a world champion pretty fast, but he just needs to like developmentally be in there with the right competition, and I think he'll be ready for all the top names. But yeah, congratulations to Raymond Ford. He's an absolute monster, and he definitely got. He definitely made a good, performance. So off to the next fight, we have Mr. Thomas Matisse versus Christian Tapia. I was very shocked of the scorecards being unanimous, but I wasn't surprised. Christian Tapia, like I don't know if he's in that same boat with Yomar Alamo, where they thought they were gonna be something good, but like I can see why Christian is for who he is, and he fights to the level of his opposition because he's been in there with guys that don't really have like a really good resume. So like this fight should have been a fight where he should have blown out Thomas Mattis. And don't get it twisted, like Christian Tapia, he has a good, decent resume for his past couple fights. Like he stopped
Right.
he stopped Mason Menard, who fought Devin Haney that stopped him, and Teofimo Lopez. So obviously not a not a bad name like on your resume, but Mason Menard is like one of those guys that he's basically like the white version of how should I say? He's like a white journeyman version of Orlando Salido, but he's like one of those guys where he doesn't care if he really loses. He really comes in there to fight anyway. So, he's a good journeyman fighter that puts up a very difficult test. But for him to stop him in 2 rounds, that's a very good sign of improvement. But then after that, he stopped the undefeated fighter Iron Alvarez, who was very good too, and he was supposed to fight Joseph Adorno in the past, but I don't know what happened with that. I think like something happened with like um actually yeah I know what happened. Adorno actually failed to make weight, and then Iron Alvarez, he wasn't able to fight him, so he got screwed over and not getting a fight with him. But yeah, that's a good victory to have because he was undefeated at the time. But on top of that, fighting from that to Luis LeBron, in which I won't
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say Luis LeBron as a gatekeeper, but rating his last three performances against Henry Moncho LeBron, Christian Tapia, and then Duke Reagan, that's really not a bad resume to really call him like a bad fighter because you're losing to like top level guys that are on the come up with you. So, these are like three straight undefeated guys that he could have won against. But I think, he just misses like that little kick to his game to try to step it up to like another level. But I think I think Luis LeBron, he's a great, developmental talent at 130 or higher. But it's just for Tapia to have like a good victory over him. The victory does age well. It's just that Luisa
He
LeBron,
lost. Matisse won that fight.
huh?
Matisse beat Tapia yesterday.
Yeah. I know that. Like, I was just talking about Tapia's
Oh, okay.
Tapia's previous like opponents leading up to Thomas to just level out, with the opposition. But either way, like he has like a good stacked, resume as far as like his, past previous fights from last year. But the rest of his like opponents that he stopped or he's like had like a good decent outing with, like a good, good load of his opposition is not that good. So I think heading into to the Thomas fight, he didn't come in educated in that fight, and he was taking a lot of unnecessary punches that Thomas was able to hurt him with. And I was actually thinking that Thomas was going to stop him in 2 rounds because he dropped him in round two. But then Christian, what he failed to do, he failed to like put in like the work a lot more heavier on the body. And I think what happened was that he got hurt way too much to the point where Thomas was able to tee off on him. But I think what made the fight very close was that Thomas, he started getting really tired in the middle to late rounds, where he just ended up giving up a lot of the rounds middle to late. And I actually thought Tapia could have edged it out in a split decision, but if anything, you could probably be generous enough to give it like a draw because both guys didn't really do enough to really secure, like the victory.
Right.
Yeah, but Thomas, he's a decent guy. It's like, I didn't think he won that fight against, Luis Melendez because that Melendez fight, he didn't even look that good. And then surprisingly, he actually lost to Isaac Cruz, which is that's actually crazy because he lost a majority decision to Pitbull. Are you kidding me? And he fought William Madera, who dropped Brandon Lee. Like, okay, so honestly, I'm gonna change up my thoughts on Thomas. Like, he's a good heavy level fighter, but the problem with him is that he's just not being matched up properly with some of these young guns. Because it's honestly, when you think about it, he's really just being set up to be lined up to be, you know, a sitting sacrifice for somebody that wants to look good. But it's he's I probably even put him next to Demarcus Corley in a way, when Demarcus Corley, finally won a world title, take a look at everything that he's been through ever since he won a title and then he lost and then he kept on being put into these back to back difficult fights where that was his only chance of actually being known, back inside of the mix. That's pretty much where Thomas is at right now. Just because he has 3 losses doesn't really show any kinks in his armor because he lost to really good fighters. Like, obviously with William Madera, he's not the best fighter out there, but he's a very tough test for a lot of guys. And obviously he didn't win against Brandon Lee, but that was that was a good level performance by him to come out in his best to actually drop him. And then Brandon, he was able to get back up and secure the victory. But that's a tough opponent to have under your resume, and then to lose to Isaac Pitbull Cruz, that's also a very questionable loss because people to which I've heard, actually surprisingly no, it seems like Pitbull, he was a last minute fill-in because it says right here he was supposed to fight this other guy named Gonzalez. I don't know who that Gonzalez guy was. Hold on, if I could look at the tapology. Yeah, it doesn't show anything, but yeah, if anything, if I could find that fight with Pitbull and Thomas, I'm definitely gonna make a video about that because I'm pretty sure he definitely won that fight because Pitbull doesn't seem to be that type of guy to really get that many majority decision victories. But for him to get a win over Thomas, I don't think Thomas, either really shouldn't have even lost that fight probably. But yeah, hopefully we'll find out because if I could find some footage on that and I could talk about that, I'll definitely bring it to your attention and a lot of other people that want to find out. But as far as Thomas's win, do you think he's ready to go after the top tens or anybody to be a world title challenger?
He looked pretty good in this fight, man. I think he needs another fighter though, but he needs to keep up that. He gave us a good performance, man. Shout out to Matisse, man. And Tapia, he's still a good fighter too, man. That fight, man, was back and forth, and it could have been anybody's fight. But it just shows you that he's right there, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but don't be fooled. Thomas has a very suspect chin because he actually got dropped previously in his career. If he
Right.
He got dropped by that Armenian dude Zora Hamazaran.
Oh,
Hamazaran. Yeah,
right.
Hamazaran. And that was a split decision win that he had, over him. But then when they rematched back in that following 2018 year from July to September, he actually got a split decision draw with him. So that's very surprising that Thomas didn't run that back with him. But just because he is hot right now, I think once he steps up that opposition a little bit more, when he fights guys I don't know, I'll even use Robson Conceição because I think that's a perfect opponent for him. But if he faces somebody with more power, um, maybe Henry Moncho LeBron could definitely drop him and definitely stop him. But a very difficult test is definitely Claudio Marrero. I think Claudio could definitely hurt him because he's a killer. And who's that other guy? Joe Cordina could definitely hurt him. Yeah, but I think Thomas can definitely beat him too because of Thomas. If he fights like that, fighting very hyper like aggressive, but don't waste a lot of your energy early game. Just save that for like the late game. Thomas, he could do some damage because it's like 130 is about to be open up real quick. Like you got Oscar Valdez and Navarrete fighting for that WBO. So for the WBC, you got Oshaki Foster versus Ray Vargas, and then for the IBF, you got Shava Kazan Rakimov. He's the IBF world champion. Yep. So honestly, 130 is going to be heating up real soon. So if I'm Thomas Mattis, I need to go after a lot of these guys that are going to be sitting right in line to get that shot. Because if you could beat like a Liam or, go after Lamont Roach, in which that's a very good fight, by the way, because I like him a lot. He's out of the Maryland region, where
I know.
yeah, yeah. Him and his father, like honestly, like I'm not gonna lie, but him and his father are like very educated when they talk about boxing. Like, whenever they just like talk about their game plan and their strategy, like they're very educated, similar to Gary Russell in a way. And I definitely got to do like a video on Lamont Roach because not a lot of people want to give him credit, but I think he's really such a good fighter that even though he lost to Jamel Herring for that WBO title fight, it still showed like he got way better from that fight, and he's just been on like a massive tear. Obviously, he hasn't been as active as he should be because I personally believe Golden Boy is not giving him, the proper, movement in his career. But if he's able to get any of these top tens in the ring with him, honestly, I think personally, if he could get a fight that could get him closer to the IBF title with Rakimov, he could actually definitely beat Rakimov. I definitely believe that, but
Rock me off.
yeah, Rakimov against Zelfa Barrett. Like, I'm not going to try to sidetrack, too much onto that. But if you just go back and watch that fight, I actually thought Barrett was actually beating his ass. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I thought Zelfa was like whipping him until he got dropped.
You see some holes in Rock'em.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's very flat-footed, and he gets hit way too easily. And I think like once you crack him to the body, it's like game over. He doesn't make like adjustments when he's hurt. That's what I've noticed. All he is just like a come forward fighter, but not bad, without the pressure. But once you force him to his back foot, he cannot box off of his back foot. And also force him to counter with his right, and then once you crack him, with that left, it's like honestly, I could definitely see somebody that's like a heavy loaded puncher coming in to stop him. But honestly, don't be surprised if Joe Cordina actually beats him because Cordina, like, not a lot of people really think he's like how should I say, like, people think he's somewhat good, but I don't think he's super duper good. But he has like the right style to like come in to time his punches to hurt Rakimov. But if he comes in and stops Cordina, then I'll be surprised. But I won't be surprised because Cordina, like, he's like very like wide open to get hit. So I think either way, like, whoever lands like their punches more to actually be successful, I think that's what's gonna show in the fight. But he hasn't really been able to really be stopping anybody because he's really not that much of a puncher himself. He only got 9 knockouts, but even though he stopped Kenichi Ogawa, congratulations, he's not like the best, fighter out there, even though he's like way past his prime. But still, it's like he hasn't been stopping a lot of guys consistently. So at least with Rakimov, like, he's been in there with like some heavy loaded opposition, and looking at the picture at 130, like, him facing Jojo Diaz and then going to Zelfa Barrett, and then before that he fought Aziga Fuzili, which he stopped him, by the way, and in his home country in South Africa. So that's a very good look on him. And then on top of that, he actually did, pick up at the IBO, super featherweight championship. So, that's a good, that's a good sign that, he's been trying to fight good opposition. But either way, like, it's not like he's a bad fighter. It's just that he needs to work on more things. And I think him being limited out where he trains, out in well, actually, from what I've heard, I think he trains out in California, out in Los Angeles. I mean, that's what people say, but I'm not too sure. Like as far as his training regimen, if he's not getting like the right training out there, he definitely needs to seek like really good trainers at this point. Now that he's a world champion, so. But yeah, as far as Thomas goes, I think he's ready for the top tens. I'm not like against it. I think right now, like this is like the perfect opportunity to really be calling out guys like Chris Colbert. Him and Chris Colbert, that's a good ass fight. I think him and Colbert can definitely be a good fight. But I don't think Colbert's gonna stay at 130 anymore. I think I heard he's moving up. Is everything good with like your mic?
Yeah, I'm supposed to personal.
Oh wait, what? I can't hear you.
Said, no, I'm cruising through the parking lot. Has some young chick, man, that doesn't know how to drive. Fucking couldn't make up her mind. I put my phone away.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna get run over.
Oh yeah, got it. Yeah, hope everything's safe out there.
They're trying to be.
Yeah, but I say right now in Thomas's career, he's at a good he's in a good stage of his career right now. So I think he'll be definitely getting bigger calls to go up against some high level names at 130. But
Right.
I think the best fights for him right now, as far as like my top 5 opponents, is Chris Colbert if he could get that fight at 130. William Foster the third. That's a very good fight. Um, Definitely Rocky Muff if he could get the Rocky Muff fight. That'll be a very good fight, in which I don't think it's going to be anywhere closer. But if you could try to fight somebody that can lead you to getting that title, then that'll be good. And the fourth opponent that I like to see him in there with is Xavier Martinez, and then the fifth opponent is I'd probably say Yakubov. That Yakubov guy is a good fighter. I think he could stop him. But if he can't get him, go after Claudio Morero or Roger Gutierrez. But yeah, 130 is definitely picking back up right now because now that the belts are being vacated by Shakur, or Shakur's belts were vacated, and now that everybody's being ordered to fight for them. Yeah, 130 is looking real good right now. So, but yeah, good victory for Thomas. Let's move on.
Tony Boswell, what's up, brother?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, Tony Boswell.
Yeah. Let's move on. With the next fight, we have Richardson Hitchens versus Yomar Alamo. This is a very good fight in which people thought it was a boring fight, but I didn't think of it like that. It was a very good, very good, educated beatdown, and I liked Hitchens' performance. People thought he was fighting really too boring, too safe, and he he looked really basic out there. But I didn't see any of that. He looked like he came out guns blazing. Yomar Alomar had no answer for him, so people really thought that the fight should have been a lot more deadlier and more competitive. But I didn't honestly. People don't understand that this is boxing. It's not supposed to be a game of knockouts. So when people look at a guy like Hitchens, they don't say he's exciting because he's not going out there stopping people. But when you look at the people that he's been put in front of, while he was being managed by Floyd Mayweather with Mayweather Promotions, he hasn't been able to be heavily active and get all the best names under his resume, because it's he hasn't been treated properly with being given with the right like opponents. Because like his best victories so far out of his entire career is Argenis Mendez, who's a former world champion, which he had a split decision win over him, which I didn't think that was a split decision victory. I thought that was purely unanimous, but that's a good victory. He beat Malik Hawkins. That was a very good fight. And then now you have Yomar Alamo under your resume, so it's like at this
Yeah,
like yeah, at this point, like this is a great resume builder fight under his resume, and
a good fight, bro. I thought it was a good performance. I mean, some fights are like that. People that don't understand boxing, they'll think, oh, something's boring, but shit, that's just fundamental boxing, bro. And that works most of the time if you deal with your fundamentals, man. That'll win fights.
yeah, people just think like everything needs to be about getting knockouts, and it's not like that.
Right.
Like
No.
people don't understand how.
Knockouts will come. You just try to win the fight. That's the whole goal. Try to
Yeah, like
box, be the better boxer.
people don't realize like how difficult it is to like really knock somebody out, because like when you're
Yeah,
tired.
especially
Yeah, because like when you're tired and the other guy's tired, what ends up happening is like when you're trying to fight so hard to get that one punch off to knock them out, you're gonna get caught with something heavy, and you're gonna get stopped. That's how that it usually goes. That it doesn't matter how much you try
flex.
to say like, oh well, this guy has all this power, but the other guy doesn't have like enough power, so that means automatically the power puncher wins. No, that's not true, because anybody could say that, but then once you get up in there and you can't land that shot and you're tired after 10 plus 11 rounds, right? Like you can't do anything. So, I don't care what anybody says, because it's like, boxing is a thinking man's sport. It's a very, you know, I basically call it the ring of fire sport. And, it's a very chess like, marketized, type of type of fight. You have to think about everything with every proper decision that you make. But guess what? That's what makes up the sport amazing, because not a lot of people want to be, thinking in there. So like, when you get that
You
crazy.
ready? What's up, brother?
Yeah, like when you get that crazy fighter that comes in there one day trying to trying to throw wild punches, that's just like a recipe for disaster to get knocked out, because a lot of fighters, really be throwing wild ass punches, but then once they get clipped with something, that's why what the referee says, protect yourself at all times, and obey my commands at all times, because they say that to make sure that you are responsible for what you do in the ring. But on top of that, if you do something crazy, you have to, own up to that. You got to be responsible for that. But obviously, that's never to be the case sometimes. But either way, great performance. Actually, Richardson Hitchens was the first person to force a stoppage over him, because but the fight was definitely a mismatch. But he was beating up on Yomar Alamo. People say that Hitchens don't got power, but his power shots are not really there to hurt you. Like his power shots are there to keep you off of him. So I'm not gonna put him in the same boat with Floyd Mayweather, but he's a pure boxer. He doesn't need to come in there to stop you. He's coming in there to box, and
Right.
similar to Devin Haney in a way, I think he scales a lot better when he boxes you, because when he tries punching with you, he doesn't look good, but Richardson Hitchens, like he's sticking to his tools. He's not listening to what the weird fans try to say like, yeah man, you got to go in there and try to knock him out, man. That's what boxing is about, man. Like just go in there, try to hit somebody and just knock them out. Like no, like that's not how it works.
Good one.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Hitchens, he fought beautifully. Like I had so much fun watching that fight. Some people say that they weren't they weren't impressed by his performance. He looked like trash, but I was like, how could he look like trash when the opponent wasn't able to do anything to him? So I was happy that he beat him. But Yeah, great performance. I think honestly, like now that we get to the main event, I won't be surprised if Hitchens if he ends up facing Steve Spark. But man, let's talk about that main event.
Hey, give me. Go ahead and cook first on Montana Lux. I know this is the part that we're going to talk about the most.
Yep,
Let me get inside, man. I'm about 2.5 minutes away from answering my front door.
got it. All right. Okay. So the main event between Steve Spark and Montana Love. This fight, I thought Montana really just blew it, and not to offend anybody that's from the Cleveland, Ohio area, but Ohio does not run boxing with a guy like Montana Love. This is a really crappy performance. He could have done way better, but after that knockdown that Steve Spark committed on him, I actually thought Steve Spark he definitely was arguably winning the fight by 1 point. I could definitely say like that knockdown forced a 1 point advantage, but leading up to the disqualification, I think Montana Love had a good opportunity to tie it up, but I'm not too sure. Some like a good portion of those rounds were swing rounds, so I wasn't really thinking that that fight was really any more I should say competitive than for let the fight just being like an absolute like shootout. So
Come on.
like as far as what the disqualification goes, I thought that that wasn't really necessary because Spark wasn't really hurt from the event of him falling out of the ring. But that referee, like I've seen him referee other fights before, and he's not really good with like making good judgment calls based on certain you know fight situations. But even
You
though
think another judge? You think another ref would have, instead of disqualifying him, would have took points? Is that
yeah,
what you're
like
saying?
I think a better punishment would have been like just take 2 points away from Montana Love. He would have lost that round, and then Steve Spark, he gets like a final warning if he does something stupid. But I just felt like that was just way too much drama put into it, and it looked like Spark just kind of planned that out inside his head, like, yeah, I don't want to go into the deeper rounds because he was getting very tired, and he was showing it in the fight. So he was like, you know what, like I might as well just pretend as if I'm going through some weird drama with him where he pushed him all the way to the ropes, and then Montana, like, I'm not too sure if he intentionally did it, but it looked like from my own angle, like he tried to push Steve out of the ring, and he looked defeated. He looked like he was getting his butt whooped, and he got whipped. That's what fighters that are losing usually do. They do it to the other guy that's the quote unquote underdog, and for Montana to do that in his hometown in Cleveland, Ohio, like that's pretty sad. Like you had all those people show up, and you going out here doing WWE moves on some random foreign foreign fighters. But yeah, not a good performance by Montana. He did get cut
No,
pretty.
bro.
For what?
I'm gonna have to kick on him, bro. I just got in the house.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything?
Of course. Um. Yeah, man. That Montana Love fight, bro. Stevie Sparks.
Yeah,
Stevie
Stevie.
Sparks looked like a middleweight, bro. He looked bigger.
Yeah, he looked
You
way.
know, maybe
Yo,
maybe some shots were dirty, like Montana Love was saying, but at the same time, he handled everything horribly. He said he couldn't see. Like the replay of him throwing him over the ropes, it was blatant. That wasn't no accident. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
so
I
I don't know. I kind of
didn't.
agreed, bro. I know Eddie Hearn was pissed, and you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, man, we can't turn this sport into like a WWF match, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is boxing. We gotta, even if you're losing, you gotta, maintain your composure and if he's throwing those illegal shots, you gotta be yelling at the ref during the fight. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I know he did it at the end, but he was saying it was the whole fight. So I mean, you gotta make that shit known, man. Like kind of like how in the NFL, same shit, like pass interference. You know how they play, they be
Yeah.
playing the part or
should
basketball when
should
someone's
be
going in for a charge and he
should
fall
be
down and shit. You know what I mean?
should be
You
puncher's
gotta play that part,
interference.
man. You gotta play the victim. And,
Yeah.
if you're being, you gotta officiate it. You just gotta make it known. You see it how sometimes the fighters complaining to the ref, but then the ref starts paying attention and then, hey, you can call it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the refs don't catch everything, bro. They don't catch. They're just human like us, bro. They make mistakes. And sometimes it's hard, man. These fighters are moving fast, man. You can't see every little detail. You know what I'm saying? Like so. Sometimes I feel bad for the refs because they get blamed a lot for their decisions, and sometimes they make horrible decisions. But at the same time, man, that's hard shit, man. It's a hard job, bro. It's a
Yeah.
hard job, man.
Cause I don't know how I would go like about it, but I would like me
You probably would have
personally.
took a point. Yeah, I can see
Yeah, I
that.
would
Take
have.
take a couple points.
I would take a point and then I would give like a final warning, and then whoever does it first, you get disqualified by an
Right.
officiating review. Because honestly, like I think what the commission did wrong was that they didn't review it, and then they didn't make a public like announcement, in the fight itself, and then if they actually like reviewed it and then they were like, okay, did C Spark really get hurt, and did he really like accidentally got pushed out of the ring by Montana Love, in which it looked like he put himself in that position to act like he was about to get pushed out of the ring, but he used all that weight that Montana Love was throwing onto him to utilize it as a setup to say, oh look, I got pushed out of the ring by him, but you were kind of like going right into the ropes, but you weren't even trying to thrust yourself away from the actual ropes. At least like what you could have done is like you could have said, hey ref, like tell this guy to stop putting his forearm right in front of like my face, because either way there wouldn't be any reason for Montana Love to look like he threw him out of the ring. Because I think that was a really shitty job by the ref to begin with, to not even like say to both of them, hey, break it up, don't push him out of the ring, blah blah blah. Like that would have made a lot better sense, and then the fight would have looked a lot more different. Because Montana Love, he was frustrated. He didn't even look like he wanted to win. He was just wanting to just fight dirty at that point. And I was like, okay, well, screw you then. Because like honestly, what the ref should have done, he should have taken a point from Montana Love, and then he would have warned him, off of a final warning, and then disqualify him. Because if he were to do that like again, it just makes sense for you to disqualify him. Because it's like you just didn't care to like actually be assertive until Steve got pushed out of the ring, and then you said something like about it that doesn't make any sense. So I think the referee needs to like stop doing that, because he has like a poor history of just calling things late, in a fight. And I've seen this guy, ref before. He refed Shakur Stevenson's fight not too long ago, and then he refed the Gervonta Davis Rolando Romero fight, which he did a good job in that. But I kind of felt like he stopped Rolly a little bit too early. In which I'm not to say like that Rolly wasn't unconscious or he looked like he was about to get stopped, in which it did. But it's like, look, if if this is like a world title level fight, and just because of the fighter gets blasted by like a good shot, and he or she still gets back up and they look a little bit wobbly, at least give them like at least a good solid 30 seconds to see what they're gonna do, and then stop it. Because I would have been a little bit better with that. But you trying to stop like a really good entertaining fight that looked like it was about to be over, at least give up the benefit of the doubt for the fighter that does get dropped, and they do get back up. Because any good fight like that should still like go in with like a bang, or go out with a bang. Because like that's really what people fail to realize in good fights like that. Just because a fighter gets brutally dropped doesn't mean that you should stop the fight automatically, because that one particular knockdown made it look like they didn't look that good. No, like this is a fight. Like it's up to them if they're able to get back up. And if they can't get back up and they look a little bit wobbly, and it looks like that their body language isn't looking that good, then yes, as a referee from that angle, you should analyze that to be okay. he or she is not looking too good, I'm gonna stop it. But if they're looking fine after that knockdown, they may look not too wobbly and they have good control and they have good control and balance with their legs, then the fight can still go on. So I'm not mad at it. But in this situation, Montana Love should have been broken up from that exchange before he had the opportunity to knock or to push Steve Spark, out of the ring. But it was just poor refereeing, you know, poor refereeing and just bad, like officiating. But yeah, I never thought of Montana Love to be that good anyway. So, like I've always kind of thought of him to be like the wannabe.
I didn't like the dog, bro. I liked him. I liked him, bro. I seen him perform pretty good, but that dog used to bother me, bro. Like, why are you bringing a little dog? Here's your little dog with you, bro.
Look, I
It's a cool
love I
dog.
love I love dogs, but why do you
Some
want to?
animals,
Yeah,
too. They
like
to
why
fight,
bring
man.
yeah,
That,
like why bring your dog to a fight knowing that if you get stopped, then who's gonna take care of your dog when you get beat up? I don't know, but yeah,
I mean, I know it's just a show, but it is what it is. But yeah, I wouldn't bring my dog. Fuck that. Unless I had a big ass pit and they would let me bring him, I'd be like, bring my fucking pit.
yeah,
But he hasn't brought the dog. The last couple fights, he hasn't brought the dog out. So
yeah. I guess he's keeping his little puppy at home, but yeah, I love dogs. I just don't think it's necessary to bring like a dog out to a fight unless you're gonna go to a fight and watch it. Then by all means, bring it. But like
I
seeing,
understand if somebody's blind, bro, and you're in a grocery store. But bro, man, I can't stand it when people bring their fucking dog in the grocery store and they're perfectly fine, and you're like, bro, you got your dog, sniffing my fucking food. You didn't back him the fuck up.
yeah,
You know
cause
what I'm
like
saying? It makes me a little grossed out sometimes,
yeah,
man.
cause at least like if you have your dog on a leash and they're like not sniffing on the food because they're obviously on the ground, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But if they're sitting up inside like a cart, then no. Like you got to make sure that you manage that better. But
Sit in the car. That's where your food sits. Shit, that's
yeah.
even worse.
But now that this main event got taken care of, what do you think is next for Steve Spark and Montana Love?
A rematch, bro.
A rematch? Really?
Yeah, let him run it back. I'm down for it. I'm down for part two.
Yeah,
What
I'm
about you
down. I'm
guys?
down. I'm down for like a part two. I think it's necessary, but from what I heard, this fight was supposed to be built up for Montana Love and Richardson Hitchens to fight each other. So now it makes me think like, is Richardson Hitchens just gonna fight somebody else on the side? Because I'm not like against it. By all means, go for it. That's a very good idea for Richardson Hitchens. Because looking at 140 right now, there's a lot of good names he could be fighting right now. And while Montana and Steve, if they ever do get the rematch, I think Richardson Hitchens, he should go after Sandor Martin, or he should fight Arnold Bar. Oh wait, what?
And who?
He should fight Sandor Martin. That's my first opponent, and he should fight Arnold Barbosa. That's the second one.
Yeah,
And if it's possible, he should go after Ryan Garcia, beat his ass. But I don't
I
think
want to
Ryan.
see Tito and Barbosa. That's who I want to see.
Yo, he should. Yo, I don't know if you heard it like not too long ago, but he was talking real like he was talking real tough on Teofimo. He said, he'll beat Tio up and he'll embarrass him.
Seen it. Yeah, I seen him talking shit about him.
Yeah, he was talking mad shit, but I believe it because he's a beast. But yeah, him and Teofimo Lopez, that fight has to happen. Teofimo better not say, "Oh no, man, he's a bum, man. He ain't that good. He's not on my level." But yeah, it's like you fight Jose Pedraza, who should have won against Richard Comey, but still, like, why are you fighting him? Like, he came off of a really tough battle, but yet you don't want to fight Barbosa, who's been calling your neck, or he's been coming after your neck for quite the longest. Like Teofimo, like I'm not gonna go so deep on him, but I'm pretty sure if anybody's connected with him and know him, just know that your man's is not doing good. Like he's not looking good at 140 already. For him to like go tooth and nail with Pedro Campa, in which he should have never fought him in the first place, but Pedro Campa, like out of all people, like it took him 6 rounds to really get it going, and then once he stopped him, he didn't really stop him. It literally took a referee to come in to stop the fight, and it's not even
Uh,
like a like this pretty much proves my argument of me stating that referee stoppages do not count as stoppages in boxing, because if that's supposedly true, then all these guys that are getting knockouts so quickly in their careers, they're like they don't have all this power that they get hyped up for, because you have to actually have the power to knock somebody cold out. But if it takes a referee to come in and stop your fight, that doesn't make you a true bona fide puncher. That just shows that you just have minimal volume punching power. You don't possess like all this great power that people say that you have. And if you have true power, you can tell based off of how much damage that you're like applying, off of every shot. But with Teofimo Lopez's case, he does not have power at 140. I never believed it at 135. I think the only reason why people say he got power at 135 is because of the opponents that he's been put in front of. Richard Comey can't take a good shot to save his life. When he fought, Mason Menard, same thing. But it's like you never saw him in there with Jorge Linares, and Linares, he's been stopped by everybody that he's fought. Or actually, no, he lost to Devin Haney by decision, but still, like Linares, if he would think about it, if Teofimo, if he fought Jorge Linares in his resume at 135 before getting those titles, then I would give him a lot more respect, because at least you fought against other guys that hits just as hard as you, and they could take just as good as shots as you can. But the fact that he didn't do that and he hand leveled his resume carefully, it doesn't give me any confidence for me to say you are that good of a fighter, because you played it very correctly. Look at the opponents that he fought, and and tell me, compared to Devin Haney's resume, who is at the top of the division right now, but the way he moved compared to how Devin moved, um, Devin's resume is way stronger than Teofimo's. But compared to him, his resume compared to anybody else that fights at 140, he's nowhere near to their level, because he's fighting guys that are stationary, and they're not that good of fighters. Like, these are guys that are not coming off of good performances, or they were just never good fighters to even scale with him. So Mason Menard, Diego Magdaleno, Edis Tatali, Masayoshi Nakatani, which he could have lost that fight and he could have been stopped, but Nakatani, he didn't press on the gas to actually beat him up more. Richard Coleman, that was an easy fight because Coleman, he ain't got no chin. And then Lomachenko, which that was a fight he should have arguably lost if Lomachenko picked it up more in the earlier rounds. And then obviously Cambosos, in which he lost, in which people thought that was a split decision, but Cambozo beat him up like 9 rounds to 3 or 10 rounds to 2, or at least 11 rounds to 1. I don't know, but that was not no split decision. But either way, like looking at how Teofimo lose compared to everybody else at 140, yeah, I don't think he scales high with a guy like Richardson Hitchens, and I think Hitchens will definitely be a bad style matchup for a lot of guys at 140. And there's a lot of good names here. Like, you got Alberto Puello. I like to see that fight. Puello.
yeah, put new champ. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not too sure if it's gonna be true, but if it is true, um, somebody was saying it through like word of mouth. I'm not too sure who he was, but don't take my word for it. This is what I heard, but I heard a rumor that Gervonta Davis could be fighting Alberto Puello. But if not, I'm pretty sure from what we heard from Abner Maris, he said he got something good lined up. That has to mean like something huge. So if it's not Alberto Puello, then I think it has to be somebody like decent at 135. But I
dang,
don't.
Abner said no, right?
Yeah, Abner turned down all those rumors that people were saying like he was gonna fight Gervonta Davis, and he said no, like me and Tank are like me and Tank are not gonna fight, blah blah blah, and that would not make his career look any good. But he said Gervonta Davis got he has like a bigger fight lined up, so I guess like we'll find out what happens because if I'm like I would like for Tank to fight Alberto Puello because if you think about it. If he beats Alberto Puello, guess what happens?
Becomes
He,
a real world champ.
yeah,
Yeah, real.
he becomes a two division world champion legitimately. But on top of that, he could be set up to fight Regis Prograis on
Everybody
in
criticizes him for not
Zepeda.
having a title, bro. He just has that Reggie. You know, like the Reggie, he's got the Reggie, but yeah, so I could definitely see him fighting Pueblo, bro.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
because that fight makes a lot of sense. Because if you think about it,
Bro,
like you could go up to 140, beat up on Puello, vacate the
they're gonna have to
belt, or
offer. They're
just
gonna have to offer
unify.
Pueblo a lot of money, bro.
Yeah, because PBC can easily work that fight out with Puello to say, hey, you want a Tank? Because he was talking all that stuff, like he was talking all that smack, saying, oh yeah, I'll beat Gervonta Davis and all these other guys at 140, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, if you think you're all that tough, then if I'm Tank, get that paperwork lined up for him and beat him up, take him out, put his ass, in the dirt, and then everything's all said and done. But
You gotta. That's what you gotta do. You gotta put him in the dirt.
yeah, put his ass in the dirt, like Errol Spence says. Put his ass in the dirt.
Put him in the dirt.
Put his ass in the dirt.
Put him in the dirt.
Yeah. But yeah. I think that's the next big. Like I think in my honest opinion, like that's the next best fight for Tank, because if he fights like some bum at lightweight, then me personally, like I'm calling Gervonta a duck because I don't want to see the fucking Isaac Cruz rematch. I don't want to see no.
No, Ronnie Romero.
Yeah. If he
Yeah,
fight,
Romero.
yo, if Tank fights Rolly in a rematch, that's a duck, hands down. It's a duck. It doesn't matter. You cannot
Yeah.
tell me Rolly in a rematch makes any sense. Oh, I stopped you, so therefore I'm just gonna pick you up like again. Like no. But no, if he fights like a Jezero Corrales, I'm not gonna be looking at Tank, but the same way. I'm gonna say right after that, like, when you're like cherry picking some dude that I haven't heard of before, I'm gonna be just as evil towards Terrence Crawford, towards Gervonta. I'm not gonna give you any more respect. Like it's either move up to 140, beat up on Alberto Puello, and then if you want, you could unify with Prograis, but then maybe if you can get the other two fights with Josh Taylor, and then maybe who's the other champion? Josh Taylor and oh yeah, and the winner between Subriel Matias and Jeremiah Ponce. Then I'm fine with that. It like I think rightfully so. Gervonta should unify the belts at 140 and then just vacate. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. All you need to do is just beat up on a couple good names up there, and then boom, you could go back down to 135. You don't need to do anything else. But I don't think Gervonta is really like about that life until he actually shows it to me. But I'm really hoping he fights Puello, because if he fights Puello heading into 2023, that's going to be a very, very good fight. And I'm hoping that fight is like somewhere down in Baltimore, or at least back in Georgia. If they could have that back in Georgia, I will hope like me personally, like on my bucket list, I would love to go see like a Tank fight, but knowing how expensive those tickets are, I'm not gonna lie to you, the tickets for Tank versus Rolly, they started off at like $160+ for the cheapest tickets, but then as like the dates got a little bit harder for prices to increase, they were like $300 to $400 headed up inside like the higher seats, at the Barclay. But yeah, Tank sells out like he sells out everywhere. So that just shows like Gervonta, whoever he fights. Well, I wouldn't say, anybody he fights, but wherever he goes, like those ticket price and sales have to be off the roof. But yeah, I think Richardson Hitchens, he could very well just end up fighting Sandor Martin. I think Sandor Martin's like the perfect opponent for him because he is on Matchroom, so if that's possible, go beat up on him. That's an easy victory. He doesn't punch as hard, but still, he's a very dangerous test as far as pure boxing goes. So, um, I think if he defeats him, then that's going to be a good victory. So, go after him, beat him up, put him in the dirt, and yeah, yeah. Oh, yo, another good fight for him is him and Brandon Lee. He literally, him and Brandon Lee would be a crazy ass match. That fight would be like a firefight, no doubt. Like him and Brandon Lee would be monstrous. But yeah, what I heard at 140 is I heard Gary Antoine he's gonna fight Sergey Limpinets.
Okay.
I'm not too sure if that's true, but if you fight in Limpinets, I won't be surprised if Limpinets tries to hurt him.
Limpinets tough, bro. Yeah.
Limpinets, he punches so hard, but I don't know. I don't know if Gary Antoine can handle that.
Yeah, well, Gary Antoine's a beast, though. He likes to go in there and bang too.
He's been looking very defensively irresponsible, but hopefully he can.
Yeah, he likes to go in there and bang.
Just try to go in there, try to stop people. That's my style.
Make a little pizza right now, man.
Oh, making a pizza.
Sucks, man. I got a 2-gram cart, bro.
2-gram cart.
And it switches flavors. Look, it can go from nerds to mimosa, and that shit won't charge, bro. And I still got a fucking full gram on each side of the pen, bro. It's a double flavor, see?
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
And it won't charge.
Yo, that's some good ass flavor though.
Yeah, nerds and mimosa.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Bro, but the pen won't charge, dog.
Yeah.
I am so mad. Yeah, it's such a tasty pen, bro. It tasted like the nerds tasted like I have a real good bud flavor, bro. Plus, it had that sweetness like nerds,
Yeah.
And then the mimosa's got the citrus flavor, bro, like orange,
Yeah. That seems pretty good.
And I got a Bruce Banner. This is Bruce Banner right here.
Oh, that's a Batman? Or no,
Bruce Banner?
Superman?
Bruce Banner? Yeah, it's a strain. Bruce Banner?
Oh, yeah. Bruce Banner from the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, or the rapper. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Like as far as like what you were saying that that does suck, but like I hope that gets fixed up for you. But yeah, like as far as what I was just recently talking about with Hitchens, I can't wait to see him back, man. I hope he gets a top 10 guy and just continues to keep getting better.
Yeah.
But let's switch cards and let's talk about the top ranked card with Zadabek, Alenam Kunale, and Denzel Bentley. Let's start from the bottom. Antonio Mireles versus Eric Perry.
Bro, Robert Garcia got a giant killer in the making. I even had my sister Ashley cook on this. Check out Ashley's Corner, guys. Subscribe to her.
Yeah, subscribe to
Ashley's Corner. And the Queen, man, she made a video on this. But man, I've been saying it too. This guy is 6'9" and 270 or 280.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's big.
He's a giant, and he got boxing skill, believe it or not. And you just keep your antenna out for Antonio Mireles, for Robert Garcia. He's got a damn killer of a heavyweight with his camp, and we've been noticing him, huh, K-Ra? We've been watching him.
Yeah, I watched him
he's super good.
I watched him back in COVID, if I'm not mistaken, or
not even that long ago. We watched him. We watched him just recently, bro.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah, he was on the very first well, he was on like a big card on the Navarrete versus Joet Gonzalez card,
Yeah,
and
I believe
he,
it was
he
that one.
looked
Yeah.
he looked like he looked pretty sharp. Obviously the opposition's not good yet, but still like he's like on the same path with Steven Torres. Just getting fights to stay busy. This is his sixth fight that he had so far, but yeah, at this point of his career, I'm liking the development. Obviously, I would hope Top Rank is not gonna try to put him on the spotlight yet until he gets up to the title. But once he does, I think within like a couple of years, he'll be fine. He's only 25 years old, which is like the scary part about it. But knowing how heavyweights move in boxing, like I would hope that he doesn't take like a lot of time off because he's a very tall guy. He has like a lot of power. Um, he doesn't
Got
become.
fundamental. Got
Yeah, yeah,
fundamental.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He has a lot of fundamentals. Um, I think honestly, like the perfect fight for him, if he wants to,
Not too
like,
many heavyweights got fundamentals.
yeah, because a lot of heavyweights are really fat and they don't know how to like be defensively
Some
responsible.
just like to throw bombs, and some are. There's not too many fundamental technical boxers, you know what I'm saying, that are heavyweight. And to have one, it's kind of rare, So that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, and I mean for his size, he's able to move like a light heavyweight. Honestly, he has
Kind of like my boy Adam Stewart, huh?
yeah, Adam Stewart. yeah,
That's my
yeah,
bro, man. Adam,
yeah. I
shout
want I
out to
want to
Adam
see
Stewart out in Arizona, heavyweight champ in Arizona right now.
yeah, yeah. Adam needs to get back into the ring, man. Like
No, I'm
yeah,
gonna check. I'm gonna check up with him, bro. I'll let you know how that goes. You just reminded me. I have to always keep track of my fighters. These guys have been cool.
yeah,
These
man.
fighters that put on Skywalker boxing.
Oh, also, not to switch it up from what we're talking about, but there's that one female fighter. I don't know if I told you, but she's out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and for anybody that's interested, she'll be making her pro debut out there. Her name is Shariah Taina Moreu, right?
Where,
She, huh?
where'd you meet this chick at?
Oh, I came across about her on Instagram. She's a like up and coming. Well, she's like a decorated amateur fighter that has some good experience with good camps. I think she trained with Johnny Tapio's boxing stable out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. But then I think from that point on, she moved from that stable over to like I think California to train with like Team USA because she wanted to get into the like Olympics, but I think she wasn't selected, at the time frame because obviously with like the USA like Olympic team being very weird and very political, it was very difficult for any fighter for male or female to try to get in. So she has a pretty stacked amateur resume. She fought some pretty good girls in her divisions that she campaigned at. But she's a good fighter. I love watching her. But she's gonna debut in New Mexico. That's what she said in her recent Instagram posting. But yeah, check her out. Her name is Shariah Taina Moreo or Shariah Moreo. But
Send it to me on Instagram. Send me her profile.
yeah, like I'll send it to you right now. But yeah, she's a lovely fighter. I just figured that I'd give like a good little shout out for her and help her get her name out there. But
Nikia has her boxing pro debut coming up too.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. How's everything with her? How's everything with her training?
She's ready.
Yeah, she
I follow her on Instagram, bro. She's posting her camp, and Eric Tucker's fighting on the same card, her partner.
yeah, Eric
And
Tucker, he's a monster, bro. I love Eric.
yeah,
I like Eric a lot. He's a straight killer. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that chick that you brought up because, like, I think,
Nikia Williams.
yeah, Nakia Williams. Yeah, like I'm gonna keep that name, pinned up somewhere. Yeah, but I sent you her profile, Shariah's profile. But there you go. I just DM'd it to you, but yeah,
Okay.
like I just figured that I give her like a shout out because she's a good, she's a very good decorated fighter, and
She
you know,
talks to you though?
oh no, like I just follow her just give moral support. That's all.
Well, okay. I thought you guys were DM, and I'm like, look at you, Kayla.
No,
Shit.
no, 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 no. But the only women that I ever talked to,
Big Hampton.
yeah,
Hey, but
okay.
it'd be nice, bro, for you to find one that loves boxing, bro. Huh?
Well, see, like the only women that actually talk to me on boxing would be like, well, definitely Ashley, and I say from that point on would be Kwee, and then any girl that doesn't know too much about boxing that talks to me. But then after that, it's just mostly me, you, just do, and then anybody out of like the YouTube boxing stable or boxing community. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm like a pretty quiet person, but if people love talking sports with me, then I love talking sports, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Antonio Morales, he's a beast, man. I think
Um,
I think he'll upset a lot of heavyweights in the future, and I'm looking forward to it because if he wants to go ahead and fight Jared Big Baby Anderson, they ain't that far away from their records. But by all means, if you want to go ahead and stop him, you know, uh, go ahead and slide on that paperwork to be like, yo, like, how about how about that? You give me Big Baby Anderson. And the reason why I say that is because his style is somewhat wrong for Big Baby because Big Baby he hasn't been in there with a guy that has size, but he has a good pressure style, you know, type of style to really give him problems. Like I think boxing wise, Big Baby might have the advantage over him if he's able to keep it up because he has like a gas tank issue where he does look a little bit gassed out. But I think Big Baby he's working on that. Like he trains in high elevation with his training camps. It looks like it. I'm not too sure if he's actively doing it, but if he is still doing it and he's saying what he's saying, that he works hard in the gym every day and he's not slacking around, okay, that's all cool and all, but it's like, are you really doing that against the best opposition? Like, I think you and Antonio would make a good fight one day. And then hey, maybe you and Stephen Big Shot Shaw. Shout out to my boy Stephen Big Shot Shaw. But it's like, yo, I want to see you get it in at this point. Like you're already past 10 fights already. There's no need for you to say, oh well, I'm like 11-0 or I'm 12-0. Like nah, bro. This is the heavyweight division. This ain't no young
who was
man's.
Arthur Better be supposed to fight? Uh, but he got hurt. Who was it?
Who,
No,
Anthony
but
Yard?
Beterbiev got hurt. Beterbiev got hurt.
Anthony Yard? Anthony
Yeah,
Yard?
he's got to fight. He's got to fight next this Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with that because if Anthony Yard's gonna get like a quick little tune-up fight and just say, okay, I'll just fight Better Beer after that, I think that's a really bad decision because it's like, what if you actually don't do good in this fight and this guy like blows you out or something, or
He's
you,
fighting Saturday.
yeah,
I,
like
I,
I just don't know what his
I kind of
mindset
thought the
is.
same thing. You're right. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
better
because
save your body for Beterbiev. Shit.
yeah, like you should save all that energy for Better Beer. I don't think that's a smart idea to just go in there and just try to blow a dude out, which you don't know if he's gonna come in there to try to stop you. Because if he
You never
finds,
know. You can take punishment, and you might never
yeah,
ever have a chance to fight
yeah,
Beterbiev.
because like I'm not too sure who the hell his opponent is, but I guarantee you if it's like one of those like somewhat good Euro bum fighters, like I won't be surprised. Yo, he's fighting Better Bureau in January, but it's but for this week coming up, it's expected for him to face against some some Bulgarian guy by the name of Stefani Koikov, and he's he's a pretty decent puncher, but it's like why would you want to face this guy? Like I've never heard this guy's name before, but it's like he's 14-1. He has 12 KOs, and he's only been stopped one time. That was in his third fight of his career. But still, it's like, why are you going up against a guy that's a puncher? Like, you're gonna get ready to fight a puncher to face another puncher. So that's wait a minute. You're meaning to tell me you're gonna go back to back with two bona fide punchers in your career? That does not make any damn sense. Because the better beer, if he washes you and he kills you, then I'm not gonna be surprised. Because like you're not going to look any better if this guy comes in here and he pieces you up, or you go to war with him. Like that better beer fight is not gonna be like good for you on the table come January, because that's like at least like what, a couple weeks of resting. So you're not gonna be ready within like a whole month, or like what, at least like a month and a half, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think Anthony Art is being stupid trying to fight this guy, which I don't even know who this guy is. But if he comes in here and he knocks him out, uh, yeah, that's probably gonna be like a better beer fight, for him on the table. But hopefully he doesn't screw it up. So yeah, let's move on with the rest of the card. Carlos Balderas versus Esteban Sanchez. What are your thoughts? Uh, yeah, I think Tim he's out, but I'll give my thoughts on it. I think Mr. Balderas is somewhat doing okay at where he's at 135, but I think the training of Buddy McGurk is not really scaling as hard. But I think everything that he's done right now for his career, um, he needs to just start, you know, thinking more smart and not trying to take unnecessary trades with guys that could potentially get him back to the same issue that he had with his first and only defeat to Rene Gueron. And I think, Rene Gueron, he's a very decent level fighter, but I think the problem with him is that he's just not gifted enough to really make like adjustments athletically. But he's still like a tough fight for anybody. So either way, like I think this is a decent test for him. I'm not really like against it. Oh, and surprisingly, you know what? He's going to be facing a Zinga Fuzili supposedly on December 11th out in South Africa. So um, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So hopefully we get to see Giron go in there and hopefully he can knock out a Zinga. So that's going to be very interesting. I don't know if he's going down in weight for that, but it looks like actually yeah, this is for the IBO Intercontinental Lightweight title. So yeah, go for it. Yeah, this is a good little comeback fight after losing to Giovanni Cabrera. So, and surprisingly, for those of you that never knew who Rene Gueron was, he also fought Michelle Rivera that will be fighting Frank Martin uh, coming up and on December 17th. So that's going to be very interesting to see the progression of his opposition. Because even though after he lost to Rivera in that fight, in which that was a very competitive fight, if you guys haven't watched that fight, but still, even though he lost, he actually gained a lot of experience. But his next fight with Carlos Balderas was actually more interesting because Balderas, he actually got dropped in round three, and he got counted out in round six. But that fight was like an absolute monstrous war to the point where Giron really showed a lot of levels, and Balderas, he just kept making like the same mistakes, and that costed him big time. But ever since he lost to Giron, he was being real stupid to like take 2 years off because he's like, oh yeah, man, I'm like the ultimate badass out here. But then it's like once somebody smokes you, it's like, oh yeah, so I need to just go, just basically not, like not come back to the sport at all, and then you just put yourself in a bad position to just be out of the sport for 2 years, and then now you're just coming back, beating up on guys that are not really too good, but some of the opposition is good. So I can't really disrespect him. He's fighting guys that have positive records, so I'm not really too mad at it. But it's like at this point of his career, he's fighting like a bunch of 8 rounders right now. So I say it's time to like give him the 10 rounders and see where his career is at because you're already at 15 plus fights. So by all means necessary, go after all the big fish if you call yourself the big fish. But yeah, that was a good, decent performance by him. I didn't think Sanchez was really needed to be stopped. Obviously, the punches did look like they were hurting, but I think Balderas, he's just doing what he has to do to win. But he still makes up the same mistakes. He still looks like he's a little bit shaky when he gets exposed, and I think that's going to cost him when somebody that's not afraid to punch back is going to do the same thing to him. But then it's like, what is he going to do when he does get dropped? What is he going to do when somebody does press him? What is he going to do when somebody forces him to a bad position in the fight? Those are things that you have to take into account when you're going to be tested at the high level. And I think that's just going to show, once he gets in there with somebody that's dangerous. Because I think the way he fights now against Isaac Pitbull Cruz, I think Pitbull would just take advantage of that and just eat his ass alive. But if he did that against a guy you know I'll use any other lightweight, but let's just say George Cambosos. He might have a shot to knock him out, but it's like Cambosos can definitely box just as well as him. So, the lightweight division is not an easy division to determine winners because it's a coin flip division. It's a very risky division with a lot of guys that are coming in there to stop you. And I think where he's at right now, he's definitely on the middle 50 to at least bottom 75 percentile of decent up and coming fighters that could take over the division. But we'll find out because however Top Rank is going to move him, that's going to be a very risky ball game with him. And I don't think Top Rank is really going to get any titles in their stable. They're going to all have to cross over to the PBC eventually because it's going to be Frank Martin, Michelle Rivera, any other PBC guys that I don't know that's fighting at lightweight right now. Those guys are definitely going to make it look like, the welterweight division. And,
Right.
I won't be surprised if 135 just gets switched up so quickly.
Think about that Michelle Rivera fight.
Oh yeah, with Frank Martin. I've said it on multiple, platforms already, but I'll say again. I think Rivera's gonna do good as far as boxing with Frank, but I think once it gets to the late game, I think Frank is gonna stop him. I just don't see Rivera's gas tank really holding up to Frank. And if he gets tired and he gets hit with something heavy, Rivera he could stop him hands down, but it's not gonna be an easy knockout. It's gonna be a very risky knockout where both guys look really hurt, and Michelle Rivera he's gonna be put into a catch-22 principle.
Right.
So yeah, who do you got between Michelle Rivera and Martin?
I got Frank.
Oh man, you are going for the Black American.
Yeah.
I have not heard from anybody rooting for Michelle Rivera a lot.
I like Michelle Rivera too, bro. I think they're both talented. It's gonna be a great fight. That's what the fans want. It's a good fight. So.
Yeah. Do you think the card's going to be hyper stacked out in Minnesota?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think they're going to start hurting each other early. I think it's going to be very very shocking of who's going to get hurt first. But yeah, I just have such a heavy feeling that's how that's how the fight's going to go. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that other fight with Charlie Sheehy versus that Marcus Bowes guy?
Oh, Coach Sheehy did good, man. First round knockout. Damn good performance. I'm trying to fuck with the layouts, bro, real quick, my bad.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, man. Sheehy looks good, bro. Looks like the goods, man. His opponent had no head movement, though. My opponent looked very stiff and rigid. He looked easy to knock down. But yeah, definitely. That kid's good, man. I like Charlie Sheehy. He's been on my radar too. And very good. We haven't got to who we want to talk about. Do you know which one we were talking about? Emiliano Vargas, bro.
Yeah. We'll get to him.
Bro, I hope you are, because that motherfucker's a pimp, bro. He's a baller, bro. I like him, dog.
I'm way.
I hope you're not. Man, he's just a G, bro. Come on, man. He
Yeah,
ain't no
man.
Ryan. Yeah, this kid's a pimp.
I'm a G too.
Certified.
I'm a G
He's a
too.
certified G. If you're a G, then you gotta respect the G.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, Charlie did good. I like Charlie a lot, but still, again, we have to see him with some of the other killers. And speaking of 135, how about Charlie versus Carlos Balderas? That might be a risky fight, but why not? Because
All right, that was a good fight. Yeah.
if Charlie, if he wants, yeah, like if he wants that work, if he wants that dangerous level opposition, I would definitely give him Carlos Balderas because they both seem like that. They know how to box and punch real hard. So why not go for it? I'm just throwing that out there. But yeah,
Right.
Charlie did his thing, and I think it's time to see him really get matched up with some decent levels. Up and coming young guns like him. Let's talk about the boy Floyd Cashflow Diaz. This fight, I was a little bit surprised that he stopped this guy. I didn't think Cortez was ever
I was
hurt.
getting bored with the fight, bro. To be honest with you, when
Yeah,
he
same
knocked him
here.
out, that surprised me, bro. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. His hair was a trip, bro. Some of that purple fucking, whoever's his barber, bro. He's got like some premium barber and shit,
Yeah, I don't know why he does that,
Yeah,
but
but
I
what do you think of the
guess.
Trumps, bro? He was calling out Monster Anyway and he was calling out Fulton. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, that's amazing. I'm all for it. He wants to get tested early. He wants to get put in there with some killers. Go for it. If you really think you're like the real deal, I think it's I think it's best to just say, hey, if you want any killer at 122, I'm not saying put him in there with Rais Alim and have him get blown out, but just look at the picture right now. Like, honestly, you want to know who's a good fight? I may be a little bit crazy, but that Angel Barrientos guy, I don't know if you know that the Barrientos twins, him and Chavez, but Angel, he fights at 122, and I think his brother fights at 115. But that's a good fight. Him and Angel Barrientos, that's a monster fight. Even though he got stopped by that black guy, Trevon Lawson, he's a good ass fighter. Like, there's nothing to be said bad about him. He's actually putting in that work, and he actually did a pretty good like account of himself after he got stopped. Like, he came back and he hasn't fought like good opposition. He's just staying busy. But yeah,
Right.
his last fight was back in April of that 2022. So I mean, he's a decent fighter. He still has plenty of work to do, but he's 5'11". He has a 72-inch arm reach, fighting at 122. I don't know how he's making that weight, but that has to be some really crazy genes that he got. But yeah, that's a good fight for Floyd. Go for it. He's a pretty short guy, but Angel Barrientos would be like a pretty good fight. some heavy loaded giraffe versus some some super small guy, but yeah, I don't see the division really being hot until we get to see like all the best names up there. But there's some good heavy loaded killers in the division. You got that Ruben Mas Toro guy. He's a pretty good fighter out of Puerto Rico. Yeah, but as far as the names out here, like, I'm all for it. Go beat up on the Mike Planias. Go beat up on Joshua Greer if he's able to come back. I don't think he's coming back. I think Elijah Pierce would be like the perfect opponent for him. I think he can definitely beat him. He's a tough ass fight for anybody. But yeah, I think him and Elijah Pierce will probably be a good fight one day. But yeah, I'm all for it. If he wants Inoue and he wants Fulton, go for it. I'm down. Uh, I think he should really go after the top 50s if he really wants to be about that life. But go for it. You're 19 years old. You want to get titles? Go for it. Have Top Rank set up those fights and get those guys out of there. But keep on winning. That's all. Like you don't need to rush it, but just keep gaining experience and keep getting better. Like he's like only 19 years old. That's not the scary thing about it. Like he came into the pros so young. He's already 8-0. So it's like this is a very good point of his career to start calling guys out and do it early. So he's already getting all the rounds in. He's getting all the experiences in. So I like it. He's not doing anything wrong. He's just going in there, just doing his thing. But I would hope Top Rank doesn't try to act like, oh well, if he gets exposed by some guy that comes in there trying to like beat him up to really try to stop him, then I don't think that's a really good idea. Like I think it's pretty, lame if you try to like slow him down. But if he's ready for the names, by all means, go for it, man. Like I'm not like against it. If you really think that you're like about that life, go for it. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say, do you really want to talk about this Javier Martinez guy versus Mark Delgado?
Yeah, because I was going to tell you, that was the first time I seen a live haircut. It cut a couple dreads on his live and looked really the time out. Cut his I'm like,
Yeah, I was laughing when that happened. But yeah, Delgado, he got exposed for who he really is. Like I didn't think he won his fight against Burley Brooks. That fight looked like he should have lost that fight. And
There you go. Hey, we saw it with Franchon Cruz Dessert, remember?
Yeah.
When her trainer asked her, do you want the wig and the hair or do you want the championship? She's like, cut it off. I want the belt. And here you see a haircut live.
Yeah, yeah, but I
live
mean,
haircut. That was Delgado getting his haircut, bro.
yeah, I mean Delgado, like, don't get it twisted. He's a decent fighter, but once he started getting matched up against all the up and coming guys that are not afraid to like go toe to toe with him and give him a tough war, his best victory out of everybody that he's fought is Burley Brooks, in which he should have lost that fight. And then same thing with Joe Ward. Like for those of you that don't know who Joe Ward is, he's that up and coming. Well, he was supposed to be hyped up to be like one of the best like quote unquote amateur stars coming into boxing. That's from Ireland, in which he's like he's doing good now. He's 7-1 right now, but I don't think he's really doing anything spectacular. I don't think he's gonna scale well. As his year or as his years kick in more because he's been taking like a lot of time off, not staying active. But yeah, he's gonna have a fight coming up in December 10th. That's gonna be on the Lopez Pedraza card, so I can't wait to see that. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Joe Ward because he is a good fighter. I've never disrespected him. I've always given him a lot of respect. And actually, you know what? He's going up against a pretty decent fighter in Frederick Julan. But if that fight does end up being like a war, then he might end up being in some trouble. But don't be fooled without the loss on his record because I don't think he really lost that fight. It should have been ruled a no contest. But people try to say like he got stopped by Marco Delgado. That wasn't true. For those of you that didn't know, Joe Ward actually broke his leg in that fight. I think he broke his leg or something in his leg popped out, so he wasn't able to continue. So that's why the commission decided to rule it as a KO TKO victory. But honestly, it should have been ruled as a no contest because that was already heading into the second round. So you can't say like that's a KO victory. They did the same thing to Darwin Price. If you I don't know if you remember that fight that he had with Malik Hawkins, but they did the same exact thing to him when his knee popped out and all that shit, and it looked like it was about to
Right.
split. So it's like, for stuff like that, those type of fights should always be a no contest, no matter what, even if it's going, like the full distance, because regardless of like what the scorecards are gonna say, like I personally feel like that's not fair to the fighter. Even if they were, winning or losing, but it's like, that doesn't determine if it should automatically be like a KO or a technical knockout victory, which is not, because they didn't stop you. But if anything, it should just be a medical no contest. That's how it should be. Because because like
Right.
when Jaron Ennis, when he had that incident with that one guy, Chris Van Heerden, right?
Right.
Everyone was saying, that fight should have still continued, but Chris Van Heerden, headbutted him that bad so he could find like a way out, because Boots was like lighting him up. But respectfully, that cut was really bad. So obviously that had to been ruled as like a no contest. But still, it's like, you had all this time to even make that decision, to know that you were already screwed up from the headbutt, and it looked like he didn't even want to fight no more, because Boots was just getting started to just rip his life away. But still, it's like, for stuff like that, I get it. Like, that's a justified no contest. But if you get hurt like while you're fighting, and the opponent didn't even do any damage to you to have that cause, then that should automatically be a medical no contest. There should be no reason to give the win to the other fighter if they didn't physically do the damage onto your body to cause that potential injury. I mean, like, that's just my thoughts. I don't know about you, but
Yeah. Right.
all right. But yeah, that fight was a good performance by Martinez. I definitely liked what he did in his fight. But yeah, Delgado, I don't
What you
think.
didn't tell me about Emiliano? Have we got to him yet, or you just get it to him?
Yeah, almost. Yeah, but as far as like Delgado, he's been matched up with like heavy opposition. So as
We
far
got to
as,
cook on Nisa too.
yeah, like I can't wait for that. Yeah, but that was a decent performance. So good job to Javier. And now let's get off with the OG, Mr. Emiliano, stopping Julio Martinez. How'd you think of that fight?
Who? Emiliano?
Yeah, yeah, Emiliano.
Hey, the kid is good, man. I've been following him since he's been an amateur. I've known about him. That out of all those boys that Fernando Vargas has, he started them all at a young age, K Rod, and that one is the gifted one, bro. That one is the one that's truly talented. A lot of people in the West Coast are familiar with him because of the tournaments and shit like that he's been in as an amateur, and they got their eye on him. Same thing with Sinisa. I have a cool story to share with you a little bit about Sinisa, but my uncle noticed her as a 10-year-old and would go to all her amateur fights, bro. And my uncle noticed something in her. You know what I mean? Like, same thing, you see a fighter. I bet you've seen it with Subriel Matias when you first seen him. You're like, damn, this guy's pretty good. But Emiliano, he's still a kid. I know he's not ready for a title. This is just a pro debut. Let the kid
This is
grow.
his
But I
second
think I
fight.
think the kid is definitely got skills. I think he can develop himself into a good fighter, bro. And maybe even a better fighter. Maybe surpass his father and prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, just to correct you, this was his second fight, by the way. That was not his first fight. Um,
Right.
his
But
first
it's
fight,
his first yeah, the first fight was on Fight TV. I remember that shit.
yeah, his first fight was on Triller. That was on like a Triller card, but
Man.
yeah, I liked his performance. He looked a little bit, anxious out there, but I liked how he composed himself with a good shot, and he just fought very technical. I definitely liked how he just just derived the left hook to be hidden, and his opponent didn't even see it coming, and he just crushed him. So that was a very good developmental punch that he formulated, and he's a very smooth, like, pure boxer puncher. Like, I could easily see him show me something that I haven't seen before. But at 135, I'm definitely a little bit on the speculatory stage. So I think sooner than later, I'll definitely like him more because I want to see him in all the big fights
And
now.
outside the ring, he's a motherfucking pimp. He's lady, bro. He's a
Oh yeah,
pimp, bro.
yeah. Well, yeah, he's a pimp. Yeah, he's a pimp in the West Coast. I don't know about all the other coasts,
But
but
yeah. Bro, he's
see,
a little pimp, dog. I like his style, bro. Oh,
see, I mean, at 18 years old, of course, you'll try to act like you got a little bit of swagger, but as you get
he got
older,
swagger, bro. That
you'll
boy got
find out.
swagger.
Yeah, you'll find out real quick. But
That boy wearing suits and a hot smoking chick. You know what I'm saying? A nice
yeah,
red dress, high heels, posing on
she looked
him.
mad small. I'm not even gonna lie. Like she looked like a really small short lady. Absolutely short. Like I don't know how some guys be doing that. I don't know. I mean, I like women that are like a good standard height, at least like 5'5" or 5'7". I mean, I'm 6 feet, so I need
Yeah.
like I need some height.
Dress is clean, man.
Yeah, he's a very stellar person. Like I like his attitude. He doesn't talk too much. He's very quiet, but he just like I like how he's not trying to say a lot in boxing now. Like the only thing like I was like a little bit surprised in was like in the post fight interview when he was saying to I think Bernardo Osuna or Mark Kriegel, whoever was talking to him, he said like he wants to be ready for a title by like 20 years old. So I mean at this stage of his career, like right now, like he's 18, but it's like by 20, like that's like definitely not happening in my honest opinion because you'll be 19 in April, and surprisingly his birthday is on the 16th and mine's on the 30th. So that's very interesting. But yeah, I mean, at this stage, to be ready at 20, I think that that's a little bit too, you know, too high an expectation. But I would probably say by like 22 years old or 21 years old, I'm definitely down to see that because that's 3 years in. So you get all that experience in garnered up, and if he's fighting at least like 5, 10 times a year, then I'm all for it because right now, like this is the second fight heading into 2022, but within the within like the months of difference, this is like 6 months of his career that he just sat on like the shelf for. So
Right.
I don't think that's smart of him. If you want to get to a title fast, you got to be like active like almost every other month. So I'd say take a good like 2, 3 weeks off, and then get back inside of the gym. And if your body's healed up and ready, then
Yeah.
sign up for like another fight. If your body's able to take it,
Yeah.
I'm not telling him to.
Hey, kid, I gotta touch my wife real quick. Keep cooking. I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that you should just go out there and start just getting in 10 plus fights in, and then your body's like all, you know, banged up or whatever. But I don't think it's, you know, I don't think it's bad enough to even try to get a good five to at least 8 fights in a year, knowing that he's extremely young. So you have a lot of experience that you could garner in within those fights, and then by that time frame, within the time frame he says he wants to be ready for like a title, that means within the age of 20, like that would have to be at least like 14 plus fights in. So I'm not too sure how many 4 rounders or 6 rounders he's probably going to get into. I think how Top Rank will try to strategize them for. He's going to try to fight at least 5 4 rounders, and then the next 2 or 3 fights will be 6 rounders, and then after that will be a couple 8 rounders. So that will be like at least 2 to 3 8 rounders, and then the next couple more fights heading into future will be 10 rounders. And I think eventually like he'll be ready for that. He has like a good gas tank as far as like where he's going, even though he hasn't gotten in any rounds yet. So it's not to really even criticize him because it's like he's so young right now. So I'm all for it. Just show it to me. That's all. You have a pretty loaded division, so the lightweight division is extremely hot as we speak right now, but you got some certified killers in here. You know, you got some guys that are coming in here really putting in that work. So I'm all for it. If you could just show it in the ring, like that's just something that I ask. You know, show me something that I haven't seen before. But I'm all for it, man. You know, Emiliano naturally, makes me like him, and I like that I heard about him early. But out of all three of the brothers, yeah, I definitely do agree with you, Tim. I think he's a more dedicated brother out of the two, or out of the three. I don't think he's the one to really care about what people say about him, because even when he was a amateur, he was just going in there just guns blazing in training camp, and you could easily see his work rate is insane in training, and that's something that I love out of any young talented athlete. You don't really listen to what people say to you. You just go in and just put the work in. So you do that 24/7 heading into every single year of you being active, then I'm never gonna criticize you. Unless I see something fishy out of you. If I see something that I don't like out of you, then guess what? I'm gonna be on you. I'm not gonna play no games with you. Like, you say that you're gonna be like the next big thing, then prove it to me every time when you come back in, because you want to paint like a huge, gigantic legacy for your father, which all credit to your father. But I think what led to Fernando's failure was that he really had that disciplinary fall off when he wasn't focused, and he just blew everything. You know what I'm saying? Like ever since like he started getting these big fights with Trinidad and Oscar De La Hoya and all those guys, what happened was like I think that the money changed him. I think like he really built into, yeah, he really like bought into like all that pressure of getting those big
Right.
figure paydays, and he just decided to just blow that off. So like you said, like I truly believe in like the Mike Tyson man in the mirror theory. That's what I call it. But if you let that mirror break you, then 9 times out of 10 you're not going to come back the same way. That's just how every athlete is. Unless you change yourself and you come back stronger, you know, take a look at what Errol Spence did. Everybody thought he was about to die after that car accident. But
Right. That was a battle.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If you let that mirror be broken inside of you, mentally and physically, then that's why you see people fail in life. But if you don't, then you're gonna, 9 times out of 10, you're always gonna come back stronger. So that's my case in point, and I wish Emiliano nothing but the best, because I'm pretty sure he does listen to his own criticism. It's not like he's being fed into all the hype. He has.
I'm just glad that he won a few people over with this performance, and that they're wishing him good luck on his career.
Yeah, just don't.
They see potential in him. You see
Just don't.
potential in him, and you gave him criticism. That's kind of cool, bro.
Yeah, just don't.
I
Just
like
don't.
that.
Just
I
don't.
know just do rubbed it in on you, bro. I know he did that shit. That shit was funny, bro. But
Yeah.
you know, there's a few people that are hardcore. I mean, like I said, I've been following the kid, so I kind of know about him. But some people were they're still young. He's still developing. But I think that he definitely has a bright future if he just stays disciplined, and
Yeah.
definitely has
I
potential.
I was also gonna say, like, if this is any other sport that we're talking about, I would still say the same thing, but I would actually like to see more out of him, because I really do like him. Like, I'm not gonna be biased on anybody. If I like that athlete and I'm talking about you, that means I'm giving you free promotion. That means I'm actually giving you like the spotlight, regardless of what platform I'm using. And even if I wasn't like a big YouTuber and I was still talking about you, that means that you are technically watching me, and you have people that are connected to you watching to me. And if we don't talk about you and we never cared about you, then we would have never even brought up like your name, in the first place. But yeah, I like him. Just don't get on that Canelo Alvarez hype train where people try to like use you as like a front to like, you know, how should I say, like try to marginalize him, and then they try to use that, hype train to like try to be all racist and all protective all over him, because like, I'm starting to see like a lot of those like racist channels that start to like back guys like him. They're starting to like use those racist terms, of like, us quote unquote Latinos are, backing him, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I don't like seeing that, because it's like, we're really supporting him, but those people are just using his name to just, act all tough on the internet, and then they send death threats after you if you say something that's factually, respectable. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
But I just figured that that I point that out, because I don't know if you've seen it online, but to me that's very disturbing, and I think that's not good.
Right.
That's not good on him, especially if he's trying to build his fan base. I'm just saying. But
Right.
but yeah. Um. Also, let's talk about the other good Mexican fighter, my brother, Mr. Raymond Murataya, Mr.
Yeah.
Danger. Uh.
Murataya,
Yeah.
some Murataya ass. That dude's fucking. He's fucking. Fit,
Yo,
bro.
yo,
Come on,
I
he's
love, I
fit, bro.
love, I love Raymond so much, man. I wish I
He's
could
just
talk.
good at lightweight.
Yo,
He's one that's
yo,
trained developing
he's
already.
like, yo, he fights just like Frank Martin. I'm not kidding. Like, his style's just like Frank Martin, but only difference is like he's not coming in there to box with you. He's coming in there to find a good jab, and he links it with a good power shot. But it's not just the power shotting. It's like, honestly, he has a good underrated ring IQ, and not a lot of people want to talk about that, but his defensive reads are so good, where once he sees a good shot, it's like boom. Like he's so quick on the trigger, where he literally sees the laser focus shots that are coming at him. And I think that's great improvement that Robert Garcia is doing for him, because it's like, you know like when Virgil Ortiz was being trained under Robert Garcia, he never listened to Robert Garcia. He tried to like shrug everything off that Robert was trying to train him for, and it looked like Robert Garcia's training didn't even scale. But
I
that's
like
like
his camp, bro. Robert Garcia got a little decent camp, man. Oh, Antonio Morales.
Robert. There was that one good fighter that was training with Robert Garcia's camp. I forgot what his name is. Uh, Man, what's his name? Um, Shit, he fights at 140, but I'm trying to think about him. Hold on. I'm gonna find this kid's name. Oh,
I like
hold on. Oh, Angel. Yeah. I got you. His name is Angel.
Morales. How many
Yeah,
fighters
his
did he have on
name.
the card? About 3 fighters on the card?
Yeah. He's had several fighters on the card, but I'm trying to find like the guy that he's like some young kid that fights at 140. I think his name is Angel Hernandez, but hold on, let me find this kid, because I know who he is, but I need to just find him. He fights at 140. I know that. He's a Puerto Rican kid. I know that, but um, yeah, Robert Garcia. He has a really like lit stable. Like he got some absolute like monsters coming in. Like almost every single, you know, I probably say almost every couple months. Like you always hear some new kid coming out of the gym, and they're always just getting better. And it's pretty crazy. But um, I'm definitely looking forward to his development of fighters, because the way Raymond Murataya is growing, um, it's very interesting, because I like what he's doing, and he's definitely looking more of a polished fighter now. And I don't know if you see it, but I think he's starting to like grow into his man strength. Do you think that way?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But also, like, another good thing that I like to see out of him more, he should start working on the body more, because he has some really good body shots. I don't know if you catch that out of him.
He should hook to the body more, yeah, man.
He's a savage to the body. But yeah, I'm just trying to try to find this young kid's name. He's a really really good fighter that's coming out of the Robert Garcia camp. But man, if I could find this kid's name, hold on, Angel Hernandez, ES News. Yeah, if that's what the kid I'm thinking of, uh, yeah, if Ellie Sackback has him, let's see, let's see. Um, yeah, yeah, like I can't find him. Like I know that he fights at, um, yeah, he fights at 140, but yeah, like I'm just trying to find his name, but yeah, I'll get to him. But yeah, let's go back to the card. But yeah, like as far as that goes with Raymond, do you think he's ready to be fed the tough opposition, or
Oh, definitely ready for it. This is a good shot, bro. Um, I think he's ready, bro. He's one that's ready. I think.
yeah, I think so. I
I think
think
he's ready.
I think he just needs to just be given like the right opponents so his skills can be sharpened more. But he looks like he's a he's a certified. Oh wait, actually, you know what? Let me take a look at the DM that I have with Kano. I can find his name. Yeah. Uh, hold on, give me 1 second. But yeah, this kid, he's a killer. I know this kid that I'm thinking of. Yeah, here we go. Angel Hernandez. Yeah, he fights a super lightweight, and he's about 1-0 so far. But yeah, he's he's like a decent fighter out of the Florida area, if I'm not mistaken. But I heard he was being trained under the stable with Robert Garcia. I'm not too sure if that's still true, but if it is, then by all means, it's it's good. But yeah, he's 1-0 so far, I think. But yeah, like I'll send you his information if I could find it. But yeah, like I definitely like to see more out of Raymond Murataya. I think the biggest issue, weakness wise, is just like making sure you're not gassing out in the later rounds. I think that's just like the biggest issue with him. But once he fixes that up, he'll get better. I think he'll figure that out real quick because the only thing that I'm ever thinking that will be a very tough task for him is like when he gets in there with like Frank Martin, Michelle Rivera and all those killers. That's going to be a tough fight, and I think like when that stamina kicks in, you don't want to be doing that again, like up against him. I think that's the biggest mistake that you could do, but I don't think that's something that he's going to allow them to do because he has power to offset something, but he just needs to be weary of it because it's just something that you just have to think about. Like, there's just like more to it, which is just trying to see, what a fighter can do. But I think Muratai, he has high scaling. There's nothing that we could say. He's always going to scale in a fight. I just like to see more out of it. That's all. But I like
Right.
everything out of him. Um, all the best fights that I think on top rank. Uh, I mean, you want to give him Keyshawn Davis, go right ahead. I'd like to see him get beat up. You know, I think like that's gonna
Hey,
be.
what's up with Tito? How,
Oh yeah, Tita. What about him?
what's going on? Have you spoken with him again, or when's that gonna happen?
Oh yeah. He said he'll hit me back up when he's able to find time. I guess he's just busy. So me and him will get together. But yeah, hopefully sooner than later.
Tell him
Um,
that you got your channel back. You got your 4K subscribers.
yeah. Like I'm currently live on it right now. I've been
Excellent.
live for 2.5 hours, but
Well, I mean, at least let him know. You know what I'm saying? The truth.
Oh yeah,
Your
yeah, yeah,
backup
yeah, yeah,
stuff. So it'd be a different platform, more or less, because you were just using your backup.
yeah, 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 yeah. Like I'm gonna be doing that with him, and then I'll just have that taken care of. Um, but honestly, like back to Murataya. I'm all for the competition being increased heavily. Um, Actually, you want to know a really good fight? Shout out to Ashley's Corner, but she talked about it already. Um, him and Jeremiah Nakathila. I think that's a very tough, difficult fight. How do you see that fight going?
Yeah, it's a difficult fight, bro. 50-50.
Yeah, Nakathila, he's a devastating puncher, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's a 50-50.
Yeah, he hasn't been active since the Miguel Berchelt victory, but yeah, he's a dog. Like
Yeah.
he's a straight monster.
I missed that video. I gotta go back and look at it. It's on Ashley, you said?
Yeah, yeah, Ash's Corner. But
Nice. I gotta check it out.
yeah, yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to see who he's gonna be matched up with. He's gonna
I'm
be
training going good.
yeah,
I'm training for the fight. You know that, right, K-Rod? I'm fighting, right? February.
yeah, I know. I'll be promoting that fight when the time comes around.
Yeah, maybe some fight
What
watch parties on
do you
Skywalker parties done that night.
do you need to do like weigh-ins at this fight, or like how does it work?
I believe so. Yeah, I gotta wait. I gotta wait. Yeah, I think that's what makes it fair, right? But yeah, I'm trying to fight 175. Trying to be a weight bully. I'm trying to be
Yeah.
like Zerto, coming coming big, dog. I hope I don't got a Bibble fighting against a Bibble, but I'm gonna come in like Zerto.
Weigh in at 175, rehydrate back up to like 200.
190. Yeah,
Yeah,
my
like
190.
190.
Yeah, 185. Yeah, I'll put on good. 15 pounds.
Yeah, but like you're built like a stick, but like you're like a praying mantis.
Yeah, big ass.
We were- Yo, Tim, you're like the best person ever. Yo, you better knock him out with like a good ass like boom, boom, boom.
They got overhand rights. I gotta stick that jab, cracking them,
Goddamn
bro.
job.
Man, overhand.
That's gonna be interesting. I can't wait for this fight.
Yeah,
Um,
bro. I gotta work on my head movement though. I gotta work on that shit. You know, I gotta get underneath that rope
yeah.
and
Did
do
you
that.
did
You
you
know, that drill.
did you talk with Joshua Torres about the whole training?
I kind of sort of did. He's so busy, bro, that I don't even want to bother him until I'm really ready. Step foot in there because I've been so busy with work. I still gotta go. To be honest, bro, I don't even have a set of gloves, bro. To be honest with you, dog, I have gloves that are in cases, but I don't have my own set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I gotta go buy some lace up gloves. I gotta buy a bunch of shit, man. I gotta get some headgear. I gotta get I don't know. I'm not gonna wear fucking a waist gear. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, man. Let the body. Let's make it a body shot fight. You know, more or less. But I don't know the rules, bro. If I have to buy one, then I'll buy one. You know what I'm talking about? I need to get the protective belt.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
they need you to like have that for Border Wars.
Yeah, if you look at them, I think some guys have it, but some guys don't. I'm just gonna wear shorts, bro, and what do you call? Some guys wear shirts and sweats. They'll roller cave it with sweats, but no, I'm gonna come in with shorts and hopefully I'll be in shape to where I can rock it with no shirt. But I'm all tatted up, bro. I'm fucking all gangstered out, bro. So it's gonna be all funny. I'm like a big cholo, bro. Look at this bitch right here. Look, I'm gonna show you
A
guys.
cholo? A cholo what?
Look at that bitch. She's shooting a gun, bro. Look. See? And look, she's bent over. K-Rod, look. That's her ass right there. Damn, look, it comes out my nipple. How low? Demon face. Look, right here. This nipple's a gun, dog. Look, that's a gun. With the smoke coming off that nipple.
God damn.
And she's got my hair, my fucking chest is hairy, so she looks hairy right now. But look, I have she's got a teardrop and she's got the three dots. That, it means mi vida loca. You know what I mean? She's a chola, bro. This is my gangster bitch right here. This is EPT. That stands for El Paso, Texas.
El Paso, Texas.
El Paso, Texas.
El
El Chuco
Paso,
Town.
El
El Chuco
Paso,
Town,
Texas.
Texas. El Chuco Town, Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna finalize with Raymond. Did you think this?
Yeah, man. That's back in my gangster days, Oscar. I've had them tats for a minute, man. All free, bro, type shit. That's from the homies, man. Yeah, man. I used to be like a little cholo, bro. I used to wear the Ben Davis and the Dickies, and I had motherfucking the belt, the marijuana belt that had embroidered big old bud leaf on it, bro. I was a bad little teenager, bro. I used to tag too. I always had some spray cans on me and shit. I was a bad kid, Oscar.
Yeah. I was also gonna say.
It was Stereo, man. Stereo is Miklo, bro.
Yeah, like I was also gonna say. Um, like, for Raymond, for Raymond's fight with Contreras. Did you see this fight needed to be stopped a lot earlier than for what it had to go through?
On the Muratala and Contreras fight.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
bro, it was a good fight, man. I think it was good. I think that was judged right and everything went good.
Yeah.
I know there's damage and shit, but people can't just stop boxing either, though. I understand what happened to Idol Silver Sinelli, and and prayers still out to him. I heard he's still in a coma, still hasn't came out of that shit. Uh, um, but what was I gonna say, man? Boxing. I don't think this should go soft, man. That's what you sign up for. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
sad to see. You can go on YouTube, bro. And they have a guy getting killed in the ring, man. You got what the fuck's his name? Damn. He was remember the gay guy? What's his name?
Oh, the gay guy.
Yes, bro. He was what's his name? Griffin.
Oh, Griffin.
Emil Griffith. Griffin or Griffith. That fight, bro, he killed the guy in the ring, bro, and it's on YouTube, bro.
Oh,
They
Emil
show
Griffin. Griffin.
yeah,
Griffin.
Emil Griffin, yeah.
Emil Griffin. He was a professional boxer from the U.S. Virgin Islands, right?
I believe so, and he was homosexual too, I believe.
Dang.
No, I mean, I'm just being serious. I'm not making bashing on it. You know what I mean? It's all right for whatever
Yeah,
whatever you believe in.
um
That first floats your boat, but he was an open gay guy back
yeah,
then.
like are you talking about the fight that he had with Benny Parrott where he knocked him out unconscious and he died in the hospital 10 days later?
He never woke up. They show him on the ropes. I don't know if that's the guy he fought, bro. But I'll have to share it to you, bro.
Yeah, you're probably talking about Benny Parrott, the guy that.
Yeah, Busso.
Yeah,
Or,
Benny
wait.
Parrott. Yeah,
Let me check.
Emil Alphonse Griffith. Yep, he's from the U.S. Virgin Islands. He held world titles at light middleweight, 154, and then supposedly he was undisputed at welterweight and then middleweight. Yeah, he's like an old school fighter. Wow.
Yeah, but you gotta see that fight, man. It was brutal. The guy just on the ropes, man. He never woke up, bro. Type shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that fight because.
Do you want to share it? Fuck it, let's do it. Huh?
Yo, did you know that he fought Carlos Monzon back in the day? Yo, he's a killer. Yo, this guy's a straight monster.
Let's share the documentary, bro. Let's watch that shit, bro. There's a documentary, bro. We'll hear all about it, bro.
Hold on.
Them talking about it.
After I get through this card and I end my live, then we'll go straight to that. But yeah, let's talk about the last two fights with Seniesa Estrada, Jasmine Villarino. How'd you see that fight? How'd you think of the performance?
Real quick, what was so cool, the day of her fight, bro. The day of her fight, Mo Boxing No Problem had Seniesa on. And I know that there was a little bit of history between my uncle and her, bro, 'cause my uncle's from Cali. So check this shit out.
The cup is off.
Yep.
First woman I watched it when I was a kid.
Awesome, cool. We got a live comment from Skywalker. He says, salute and good luck to my favorite female boxer. He says, tell her I'm a nephew of Bobby Chacon from Calpas.
Khalifa.
Oh man, I met Bobby Chacon when I was like 10 years old. He saw me fight, and he was such a big fan. And he always went to all of my amateur fights after that. Like he was so supportive of me. So that's so cool. I love Bobby.
Awesome. So salute Skywalker. Next question we sent is, how did you get?
Hey, what'd you think of that, Kara?
That's awesome.
Pretty cool, huh?
I wish I was there for that interview so I could just say hello to her. Just say salute from Albany, New York. I love you a lot.
Oh, bro,
And
she's
please-
a beautiful lady, bro.
and
She's
please-
been boxing since she was 7, bro. My uncle noticed her when she was 10, and that girl she got amazing footwork, good fucking movement, man. Her movement's so fluid, bro. Like she's constantly moving and switching. She even switches from orthodox to southpaw, bro.
Yeah, she does it better than Crawford, honestly.
She's a switch hitter. She's very, very tricky. She moves. She's like a snake. She has her glove popping in and out as like a defense. Plus, it's like you don't know where it's gonna be, if it's gonna go right or if it's gonna go inside. She's just constantly moving that glove, and you know what I mean. Bro, she's amazing, bro. Amazing. I've been, dude. And then after that, what she said about my uncle, dude, my uncle, rest in peace, man. But he noticed something in her, and he'd be proud of her if he still be alive, man. And that's kind of cool, bro.
Yeah. I would love to see Sinisa fight Zarina McCoy, hopefully one day in the future. But
Right.
yeah, like I like everything out of her. I never knew anything about her until like basically the start of when I got out of high school in 2013, heading into my college years. But I liked every single bit of her. She was young, hungry. I actually liked the younger version of her, where she had everything going. But I think what ended up happening to be her biggest downfall was just that Golden Boy just sat her on the shelf, and I was just so pissed off because I was just like, you know what, like you deserve a lot better. But she would have had way more fights at this point of her career, and I think like at this stage, she's like 32 years old. So at this stage of her career, I don't know how far she's gonna climb up to, but you know, with all the fights that I want to see her in, but where she wants to be right now, she wants to be a 3-division undisputed world champion, which I think she could do that very fast right now. It's really not that far away, but it's like at this stage, she should have had that, you know, under the table a long time ago. So I just think it's just poor promotion and management. And like, you know, like I'm proud of her, man. You know, like I liked every single bit of her. I just wish that she had more of a financial independence of what she did do, and she didn't have to be held back with what she couldn't
Does
do.
she have beef with Oscar now? That's my question. Does she left Golden Boy? Does her and Oscar's relationship different now? I know that Oscar was kind of like,
Yeah, I don't
on
think.
her way. He's from East Los Angeles himself.
Yeah,
Do you know
don't.
anything about that situation?
Yeah, I don't think her and Oscar really shared a good relationship, because every time when she was at the zone fights, you can easily tell that her body language just didn't sit right whenever anybody asked her about how Oscar's treating her. And it seemed like she tried to mask it very well to say that things were fine, but it just didn't seem like they were fine, because like when she broke out crying in the press conference saying that, these past couple months or last couple months have been tough. Yeah, I get that, but at the same token, like, why would you want to be with a guy like him when there's plenty of other promotional opportunities you could have done? Like, see, like, honestly, I really wish like boxing was like more heavily promoted on the PBC side, because Top Rank, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, top rank is shitty when it comes to women's boxing. I'll be like, I'll be honest, like, to say that out of all the top rank cards that I've seen, at all, like, there's not that many female boxing fights. People want to lie about it and say, "Oh no, there are," and it's like, no, there's not. Almost every single Top Rank card that you see coming out.
I'm sure she's happy
Yeah.
with the money she got though.
Yeah. Top rank is doing good on that behalf, which I'm not going to disregard that. But I'm saying, like, as a whole organization, saying that they're behind women's boxing, they're not, because when you look at the
They're good. They're good with prospects. I noticed though.
Yeah,
they're pretty good.
they're good. They're good with putting millions of dollars into the rookies. But once it's time to step it up against dangerous level opposition, then they start acting all very cowardice to say, "Oh no, well, he or she's not ready yet." You know, they need more building up to, like how much more building do you need? Like, you can't just say, like, "Oh well, this fighter needs like 15 plus fights just to build," and then those next 5 fights will just be like little filler fights here and there, and then it's like after that you're just gonna wait until like a title's vacated and then just give it to them. Nah, like, that's not how it works. Like, you, in order to be the champ, you got to take it from the champion. So either way, like, top ranks political decision making is very whack, and it doesn't make any sense, because like, I spoke to fighters like about how Top Rank operates, and they tell me Top Rank does not do their job when it comes to making those big fights. Like, most of the time they want their fights to be in-house, and if it's easy to cross promote with a promotional company, they do that because they know that the business is a lot easier to get those fights in with a fighter from like Matchroom or Golden Boy, because I know Golden Boy has a good relationship with Top Rank, but when it comes to Matchroom, Top Rank does not like to do business with Matchroom, but they still do, because Eddie Hearn, he you see it all the time. Some of his fighters go over to Top Rank to face against Top Rank fighters. So it's not like it can't happen, but it's like whenever they bring up the PBC, they always say, "Oh, now the PBC, they don't ever cross over. They don't ever cross over." But you see PBC guys cross over to Top Rank all the time. So it's not Top Rank, or no, it's not PBC not wanting to cross over. It's Top Rank. They're too cowardice to not make the fight. That's all. Because if they really wanted to, if they had pure belief to know that their fighter is going to win, then make it. But yeah, with Sinisa Estrada's deal with Top Rank, it's a great decision that she did. I think she's getting like $350 something thousand, which isn't really a lot, but it's a good start to something bigger. And hopefully she can get some big advertising sponsorships on top of that. I think she's now partnered with OnlyFans, so that's good. I'm very happy for her. I wish her nothing but the best, man. Like, I really do like her. That's coming out of my own heart to really say that. But I've never disrespected her. I've always wanted to see good things out of her because she deserves it, and she she really wants to be like another face of women's boxing. But I think in order to get there, you need to start like competing at the bigger weight classes. I think that's why not a lot of people really talk about her. She has a good talk, but if you could do that at like 118 and above, I think that's a bigger noise for you. And I think she could beat a lot of names at the larger weight classes. She's not that small, but it's like she can definitely campaign at the larger weights. But yeah, her performance was amazing. She did a great job with she did a very good job with Villarino. I like Jasmine. She definitely won my heart.
That girl was tough, huh? That girl was tough. She took a lot of shots.
I love Jasmine. She's awesome, man. Shout out to Argentina. Some of them women are just gorgeous what they're fighting. But yeah, Jasmine, she's a beast. Love to see her back again one day. But yeah, Sinisa, she got those rounds in. I'm not a fan of the 2-minute BS, but I think once 3 minute in women's boxing becomes normalized more, where all the promotional stables can start investing in 3-minute fights.
But 3 minutes gonna make them ugly, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you
don't want to fuck up a female's face. Come on, man.
Yeah, but this isn't like a sport to look pretty. Like, this is this is like the war. This is like the Ring of Fire sport. You have to stay ready to be ready. Yeah.
Yeah. Get hit in the face and shoot another shot back.
Yeah, but yeah, with everything that goes on now with the 2 minutes, the women don't really do like they don't look as good, but they don't like have that much time to perform as well. So the spotlight really gets to them when they don't, when they don't know what to do in a 2 minute fight. So I think with that least amount of time being there, it really shows a lot of it shows like the lack of skill being used. It seems like more punches and bunches are being scored. But I think the 3 minute bouts they definitely show a difference. Like when Sinisa fought Marlon Esparza, like that felt like a real fight. Like that felt like an actual war. And I liked every second of it because she was beating up on Marlon. But if that went the full distance, it like people make the weird argument to say like women get hurt more if they go through that path, and it's like that's not true because women are training in the gym for 3 minutes. They're not training on 2 minutes on the clock. They always say they're training for 3 minutes, but that's why that they're preparing for 2 minutes and they're having to throw more with a less effective punching placement is mainly because of score points because it's 2 minutes. So yeah, women can handle it. They could do the 12 rounders. Obviously no off limits for 15 rounders. That's long gone. But yeah, just bring it to the same standard as men. Just pay them the right amount of money, and then all the best fights in women's boxing is gonna be popping out like crazy. And it's like the women are delivering. That's the crazy thing about it. Like people don't want to talk about it, but I'll be the first one to say, out of very few people, women are delivering. So think about it. If women's boxing continues to do this type of growth in the next year or so, you will very well see women's boxing on the same level with men, and that's really what they want, right? So all the women out there saying that they want equality with men, well, here's your choice. It's either stay under the system that you're staying under, which isn't helping you, or actually make a change. So I think the women need to stick together on that and not have us men speak for you because we're technically the ones that are keeping you guys alive. So I'm not trying to be rude. That's just how I'm saying. Like, we're keeping you relevant. Like, us men, we talk about you because we actually do like you and support you. But the sad thing about it is that not a lot of women talk about you. There's like a small percentage of women worldwide that really talk about boxing. But when they talk about all the other sports, they talk about those sports because, like, us men, we talk about it. So they get into it. But when it comes to boxing, it's a whole different story. But great performance either way. I like to see both females come back again, and they're great talents. I like watching them fight. Sinisa got a lot of work in, and she looked a little bit shaky. She looked a little bit rusty in there, but I think it's all the process to just continue to keep getting better. And I hope she comes back. Like I hope that I can see her one day. In her upcoming fights. But yeah, let's get on with this crappy main event with Janabek versus Denzel. What'd you think about that?
All right. First things first, I thought highly of Janabek going into the fight. I can't discredit Denzel Bentley. He came to fight. The first early rounds, Janabek dominated, of course, and looked good. I was like, I thought he was gonna catch him with something in round 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? Like the early rounds looked pretty good, But Denzel Bentley started getting confidence, and then he started coming to fight, man. And I think with Janabek, man, I've seen a lot of flaws, like shit that he can, people can. He's definitely not the boogeyman as people are saying. That he's a normal human. He's not a superhuman. And I think I still think he's good. I don't get me wrong. I still think I'm not saying that Janabek's a bad fighter, guys. I'm just saying that he's not the boogeyman. And definitely any other contender could beat his ass. Or you know what I'm saying? He's not invincible, guys. That's all I gotta say. And all credit to him on his win. Yeah, you won. Denzel Bentley came back to fight, man. He showed confidence. He didn't stop Denzel Bentley, and Denzel Bentley's a British champion, two-time British champion. Now, I'm not saying world title, you know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm talking about, K-Rod.
Yeah.
He's just not an average boxer. He's a good boxer, bro. Denzel Bentley, I give him credit for being in the fight with the boogeyman, and he did damn good. And my brother Carl down under, my brother down under. I come from a land down under.
I'm from the land down under.
I need to download that song. My brother
Yeah,
Carl.
man, I love that song. I come from the land down under.
I want to download it for Carl because it's one of my best friends. One of my best friends on YouTube is the Crocodile Hunter, the Kangaroo Wrangler.
The Kangaroo Wrangler.
He's in the bush.
I wasn't sold on Janet Beck. I think this fight easily proved that he's not it. And Denzel Bentley, he should have been stopped if that fight was ever going to be a quote unquote just fight of him blowing him out. But
I think the commentators, Iceman, a lot of people were saying that, and that term actually, man, a lot of people been saying that even during the fight. So I don't know where it originated from, Iceman, but I heard it, man, before too with Janet Beck, and then I heard Boo Boo was scared of him and ducked him. Yeah, I heard that too. He dropped his belt and moved up. So everybody thought, like, hey, this guy might be the zombie man, but he's not really. He's just human, bro.
yeah, I'm just like I'm not sold on the fact that people say Andre ducked him because that wasn't true at all. Because like honestly, Andre, if anything, he knew that he probably wasn't going to get paid that much money fighting him. And it's not to say like Andre pulled like a Keith Thurman. It's just that why fight a guy like him when all the bigger fish to fry is that super middleweight and above. So I think Andre, he made the right choice to say, you know what, screw him. He's not doing anything for me. And then what's to say like that Janet Beck, he's gonna call up the shots with Andre, like, knowing that DAZN and Top Rank, they don't have like the best relationship with each other, but just of that fight of that magnitude, I don't think Andre really cared with what Janet Beck had to say to him. And I don't think the WBO really wanted that fight to begin with because, remind you, Andre was trying to fight Zach Parker, but then he got injured. So at that time frame, of course, he had to been stripped because he probably was injured at that time frame, leading up to Janet Beck's very first opportunity to get the title, or title mandatory position with Danny Dignam. But either way, like I don't believe this wild case of Andre ducking him, because Andre couldn't have ducked him for the sake of him wanting better fights. So if I'm in his position, I don't need to fight you. Like I can just say, all right, screw you. I don't need you. I'm moving up. That's a better choice of me saying, oh well, I'm gonna keep my belt, but I don't want to fight you. And there's a case for that. You could say, yeah, that's a duck, but at this point, I think it's all about money. I think Andre, he clearly showed that he wasn't wanting to agree with the business that was being offered to him, because it's like, you still got to pay him, and it's like if Andre's not getting paid good money with a guy like Janet Beck, which he's the quote unquote boogeyman that people say he is. Well, if you're the boogeyman, then why didn't you press on Andre at his fights before all this hype and talk was being talked about this fight being made? Because it doesn't seem like Andre ever cared to know about you and ever cared to hear about you, because this fight was never to even be hyped up in the first place. So for people calling him the boogeyman, I don't believe that shit. If you're the boogeyman, you should have been going after Jamal Charlo or go after Jaime Munguia. And I think Jaime Munguia would stop him. And, I'm surprised that he never even went after Carlos Adames, because Carlos Adames, he's a deadly boxer puncher, and You know, like if he if he had Carlos Adames, you know, in his way for him to challenge him before he ever touched like a title, he probably could he probably would have been stopped by Carlos Adames. So I just I don't see anything special out of him. I think Janabek is gonna screw up his legacy when he runs into the wrong guy that's not coming to lay down. But the middleweight division, like honestly, the middleweight division is gonna be destroyed when Jermell Charlo gets in there. Because once Jermell Charlo beats up on Tim Kazooie Zoo, what's gonna happen after that is that he's gonna move up to middleweight. Errol Spence is gonna take 154. So 154 is gonna be stacked with him, Jaron Ennis. Fundora is not gonna probably make it. Lubin might make it, and then the rest of everybody, like Xander and all those guys, that's gonna be a whole gauntlet of just beatdowns. And then after that,
you got pissed off Carl, man. Fuck, that's Tim Zoo, man. That's Australia in the house, man. Come on.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just.
No, you all good. I'm fucking with you,
bro.
Like your shit.
Bro,
I'll let Carl come on here. He'll sting to you right now. I'll be like,
you're talking about Jermell Charlo that just knocked out Brian Casano. And the sad thing about it is that people don't give Casano enough credit in that fight. But I'll be the first one to say that he never stopped a guy like Casano like that before. He could have did it in the first fight, but in the second fight, this version of Charlo, you want to keep away from him. Because when he's focused with Derrick James, that's some dangerous level coaching that he's getting. That's something that you don't teach out of a fighter. Like either that fighter got it or they don't. But Charlo at this stage of his career, no. Tim Zoo better find a plan B or a plan Z, because I just don't see it happening. If he goes in there the same way he did it with Terrell Gausha, with Charlo, it's game over. You cannot tell me that fight is gonna go in Tim's favor, because Charlo, he got a good ass chin. Charlo got crazy upper body movement, and then on top of that, the body work. No, you cannot say that, because you haven't seen what Tim could do to anybody to Charlo's level. If he was like you can make a good case to say look, if Tim came into 154 facing Lubin and then J-Rock and then Hurd and then Tony Harrison, I would be like, okay, that's a respectable resume. But
J-Rock, the thing is, don't ever underestimate a motherfucker named Tim.
Yeah.
Tim will whoop some ass, bro.
Hey, but
Tim,
the
guys
what?
named Tim, Tim, shit, those motherfuckers crazy, dog. I'm telling you.
Hey, if Charlo goes in there and whips him, then everybody better come back inside this chat and give me credit and give Charlo credit. Because
just to say, bro.
I'm just saying it's not gonna end up like a Zab Judah situation. If Tim wins up the fight, his best chance of winning is getting a late round stoppage, which that's not gonna happen. Charlo has never been in that situation ever, and he's always gotten way better and stronger in the later rounds.
All Aussies are never scared.
Tim has never he's never even gone past 6 rounds in a tough fight.
They never scared. They never scared.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Tim.
Australians are from the down under. They sleep with the motherfucking crocodiles and the kangaroos, bro.
Sleep with
they don't get
damn
it, man. They have so many deadly animals on that fucking continent, bro. Them dudes ain't scared of shit, bro. I'm telling you.
Nah, man. It's just that Tim, he has so many flaws to the point where he got dropped by a non-puncher in Terrell Gausha. Explain that to me. You get knocked down by Terrell Gausha? Imagine if Lubin did that to you, who's a deadly southpaw. And on top of that, he has athleticism over Tim. Jermell.
Hop on here, Carl, if you want. Come on, make this podcast good for K-Rod, man. He's doing his podcast.
No, Jermell is way more athletic than Tim. And then he's more athletic than Lubin. And when he was in his prime, when he knocked out Lubin was not able to see that punch coming. Jermell has a great right hand. he could hide that shit and mask it very well. And then on top of that, with the body work too, like you guys don't give Jamel enough credit for the body work. When he kills you to the body, it's over. You cannot get back up from that. Like his shots are supreme deadly. And I would even use like the Jason Rosario fight because when he killed
Brian Mendoza, bro. Wow.
Brian Mendoza, he's a dog. Like, he like came in there and I literally thought that
Albuquerque in the house, bro.
I literally thought Brian Mendoza, he was going to get dog walked by Jason because he looked a lot bigger at 160. And on top of that, did you hear from the Showtime? Did you hear from the Showtime broadcast that he walks around at like 195? So this nigga was cutting from 195 to 154. That's over 35 plus pounds. And then you do a move up to 160. That's still at least 30 plus pounds that you're still cutting on top of pure muscle. So all that muscle and fat that he's tearing off of his body, he doesn't even look naturally fit. Like he does look like a pencil in there. But I think on top of that, the damage that he took from Nathaniel Gallimore showed a first sign with his deficiencies with his body, because I think those shots were starting to deteriorate his body. So I think on a medical scale, he wasn't able to take those shots properly. So as he took those bigger damages from a guy like Charlo and Lubin, and now Brian Mendoza, those were all signs of him having medical dysfunctions. Because I think something in his body triggers him to break down when he gets hit with something really heavy, and he has really bad punch resistance. That's something that not every fighter is gifted at. Having the best punch resistance. But for Jason's case, he doesn't have that much defense, so that's also another problem too. That's why defense is important. And your boy Tim over there don't got good defense, but
Carl, he's cooking you, bro.
I'm just saying, like, some of these Aussies really think that they got defense, but nah, man.
Aussie, let's go, man.
Yeah, man. But I can't, I can't wait for the press conference, because everybody that's gonna be pulling up heading into the build up. It's all gonna be all those weird ass people trying to say, "Oh, Charlo's gonna get washed up like Kasazu did to Zab Judah," and then they're all gonna use those racial slurs and all that, and then they're all gonna start piling up inside of the chat to get us all pissed off. And it's like that's not gonna scare us. Like, that's not gonna get us pissed off unless you guys are like attacking us. But it's like, you realize that's not helping Tim out. That's actually gonna put more pressure on him. But nah, I just can't wait for it, because once he goes in there and he shows something that Tim hasn't seen, then all said, everything will be said, in the ring. So I'm all for it. Just bring your fists to the ring. That's all. Just don't be talking.
Hey, another Australian to look out for is Liam Paro at 140. That'd be a good fight for Tio.
Well, surprisingly, Teofimo, he was wanting to fight Liam Paro, because remember when the WBO, they said that they like the WBO magically put Teofimo number 2 or number 3 on the WBO rankings, and that was technically supposed to be like the setup with Teofimo beating up on Liam Paro, and he gets an easy ticket to become champion, which it doesn't make any damn sense. But it's like, Teofimo, he doesn't deserve to get a title at 140 anyway. He's not beating no certifieds, and even if he beats Pedraza, it's like that's not going to save you. Like that's not going to save you from all the other killers that are in the division right now. So at this stage of his career, it's like you're not doing anything good for your career. Like, you have to really put yourself in a better position of fighting all the tough opposition, because if you leave that alone and they're getting better than you, then you're going to find yourself in a bad hole of failure, because you can't cherry pick at 140, like you did at 135. So I think at 140, it's it's all gonna show. You know, look, the time is gonna be set in stone, and then once it's time for Teofimo to get exposed, then that's just gonna show his deficiencies. But yeah, let me end my show on my end, and then I'll continue on your end. But give me
You want to play that fight or nah?
yeah. Give me 1 second.
Kind of brutal, bro. We shouldn't do it. Bro. Bruce did it the other day.
Yeah, shit, I'll do it. Emil, what's his name? Emil something.
Griffith.
Yeah, Emil Griffith versus
But damn, dog, I don't know if we should do that.
Patty Barrett.
I really, man, I'm not interested in seeing shit like that.
Dude, I'll fucking play it. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay. You said Tim gets knocked down, but he gets up. Okay, now stop. When he got knocked down,
get him.
Yeah,
get him, Carl. Get his ass, Carl.
Yeah, when he got knocked down by Terrell Gaucher, what did his body language say to you? He didn't get back up properly. He took a sweet little time up because Terrell Gaucher hit him with something light. He didn't hit him with something heavy. All right. Thank you guys for watching on this end of the show. Please go over to Skywalker Boxing. Please go support him, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. All right. Thank you guys, and goodbye. All right. Peace out. Thank you.